And it kind of leads me into the other thing I wanted to say, which is I can't think of anything in the world that leads me right to the edge and then just past the edge of my patience before smacking me in the face and reminding me to be even more patient than I think I'm being. Kids are like that, certainly. Having kids is 100% like that. You try so hard to be patient. You're patient, you're patient, you're patient, you're patient. You try a little harder, you're a little extra patient. You lose your patience, you get mad, and then you realize you needed to be patient for just like a few more minutes. It's just how it is. And I don't think that there's anything in the world, even more than having kids, that is like that, like baseball is. Because you try to be patient, you're patient. It's small sample, it's a small sample, it's a small sample. It doesn't mean anything. It's okay, it's a small sample. I'm mad. Oh my God, it was just a small sample. Like, it's just remarkable how often baseball will make you kind of change your mind. Jorge Polanco is probably the best example of that this year. Gosh, I tried so hard to be patient. And the moment I was like, okay, I'm out. I can't do it anymore. He turns it on, has been arguably the best hitter on the team since the All-Star break. It really is just an incredible sport that way. And it is one in which narratives can often take hold and be more powerful than the reality. What did we hear yesterday? Dan Wilson's bringing small ball to the Mariners, and that's why they're going to win a game. Okay. How'd they win the game last night? 3-run home run. Literally the opposite of small ball. Dan Wilson did it. Small ball. No, it's not small ball. They actually hit a home run. They actually took advantage of an error and a weird lucky bounce at third base and destroyed a ball into the right center field seats. That was awesome. It's a small ball. It's not hit and run. It's not bunting. It's two accidental small ball plays followed by a dude mashing the ball into the right center field seats, which was awesome. I love it. I want more of it. Small ball. So try to, if you can, ignore the narrative. Let's watch the reality. They've been playing competently on offense, which is amazing. Their defense and pitching generally is really great. And if you don't make too many mistakes, which they haven't the last few days, you find ways to win these games. And it's just been awesome. Ride the wave. Ride the energy that certainly feels like it's changed. And yeah, 3.5 games with 30 left to go. Who the heck knows?
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Yeah, there were some good things that happened this weekend, man. Well, however you slice it, it's a brand new day here in Seattle. And so far, these guys have been off to a good start.
Yeah, that's a really good point about, I don't know that we're ever going to see drastic changes in the way that one manager is over the other, most especially since Dan Wilson is just starting out. But you're right. The vibes did feel a bit different. It felt like a little bit of we're not a sinking ship right now. Like we've kind of been given a second chance.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hey, babe. Yeah, the bank password is Moneybags, but a $sign instead of the S.
Mr. Moneybags here is about to get his identity stolen.
Wait, what?
If he used 1Password, he can share logins, credit cards, and other important information with just his wife, not the whole store. Sir, your card's been declined.
Again?
Security is complicated. 1Password isn't. And right now, get a free 2-week trial at onepassword.com. That's 2 free weeks at onepassword.com.
3 bands, 1 stadium. Def Leppard, Journey, Summer 2024. September 4th, T-Mobile Park. Def Leppard, Journey, Cheap Trick. 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons performing their biggest hits. September 4th, T-Mobile Park. Tickets on sale now at DefLeppardJourney2024.com. Def Leppard Journey, Cheap Trick. Now they rock the summer of 2024.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house online and owning it, between imagining living there and breathing in your new home for the first time. Having an advocate who can help you navigate the complex world of financing, inspections, negotiating, analyzing the market, and talking through any anxieties that may pop up That can make all the difference. That's what the expertise of a Realtor can do for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and bound by a code of ethics, because that's who we are.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol-Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com to learn more.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
At Sound Pain Solutions, some of the most difficult cases we see are patients suffering from failed back surgery syndrome. Bill is an avid golfer, but his pain got so bad he couldn't play and was considering surgery.
My back was killing me. I could not play any more golf. I could not walk more than half a block. I did not want surgery on my back, and I researched many different ways of getting this fixed. Behind that was horror stories from my friends who had back surgery, but it wasn't worth it, and I just made conclusion to that. There's got to be another way.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We were able to get Bill back on the course without the risk of surgery. We did this using non-invasive, FDA-cleared procedures like non-surgical decompression, laser, pressure wave, and bioelectrical treatments. Now, Bill is back to playing golf and enjoying life. Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free treatment by calling Sound Pain Solutions or visiting soundpainsolutions.com.
As a Washington State business, you can take advantage of Labor and Industries no-cost safety and health consultation program. We can help you build out your accident prevention plan, meet safety obligations, and reduce your risk of costly safety citations. You can have us look at a single item or your entire facility. And consultations are confidential, which means you will not be cited if a hazard is found. You'll just need to fix it, and we can help you with that as well. There isn't a safety question we can't help with. To learn more, visit lni.wa.gov/consultations.
Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, the Doobie Brothers. Tom Johnston, Michael McDonald, Pat Simmons, and John McPhee. The 2024 Tour. With special guest, the Robert Cray Band. Live in Auburn. Performing at White River Amphitheater Friday, September 6th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit thedoobieBrothers.com.
This hour is brought to you by the Harnish Auto family.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
We're down to 3.5, everybody. 3.5 games. This is not a drill. This after the Astros lost to the Phillies, and the Mariners just got themselves busy at home. After falling behind by a run early, they got going. Home run from Polanco to get on board. An error and a lucky bounce got runners on, and Randy Arozarena made them pay.
Arozarena drives one. Right field. Look it up. That baby's going to get out of here. A 3-run homer, Randy Arozarena against this former team. And the Mariners have a 4-1 lead here in the third.
Yeah, that was really the big blow in the game and completely changed the way the kind of the whole thing felt, right? It seemed like Tampa's kind of like, yeah, well, we're not going to get 6 off of Bryce Miller today, so I guess we're pretty well done. And he just kind of dominated from there. Dan Wilson, new skipper, pretty impressed with what Randy offered.
Well, I know that, he was feeling good today from batting practice, and he really I thought the pitch he got was he went with it and drove it to right field into the seats, and that ball went a long way the opposite way, and I thought it was a great at bat and really gave us a lift that we needed at that point.
Randy is one of those guys, you see him hit a home run like that and you're like, why doesn't this guy hit 40 home runs a year? He's not that tall, and I think maybe that's a part of it. He's a shorter guy. He should be more of a doubles hitter. But, man, when he gets a hold of it, he can just absolutely smoke the ball. 5-1 the final. There's some differences last night. Some good breaks, but also they went the other way, as I said, a fair amount. They made some good contact. They scored 5, 2 of them earned. Hard to judge baseball, right, in a small sample size, but it definitely looks prettier to the eye than it did a week or so ago. Bryce Miller was ridiculous.
The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Strikeout number 10, matching a career best. 10 strikeouts for Bryce Miller. 2 down here in the 7th.
Yeah, he was dominant. A clean 7 innings, allowed just the 1 run on the solo shot early, struck out 10. He was nasty. Dan Wilson, happy to have him.
It was pretty vintage tonight, I thought, for Bryce, and just great command. That the fastball still has a lot of life, and he just was in control. And when he gets going, obviously with a lead, you're able to attack the zone so much, and he was able to do that, especially later in the game, and really just kind of didn't really allow them to get anything going on offense.
Yeah, they did nothing. I mean, the Rays were stifled entirely. So back around to Luis Castillo tonight, game 2 against the Rays.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
More change may be coming. J.P. Crawford getting real close to a return. He's played a couple rehab games with the Rainiers, was at T-Mobile for a sim game yesterday. Could be in the lineup today, more likely tomorrow. Interestingly, that would likely take their hottest hitter out of the lineup, though, right? Leo Rivas has just been on fire. Victor Robles feeling a little bit better after being hit in the finger. He was supposed to be available to play last night and should be back in the lineup this evening. The news in the pen, not quite as positive. The idea, right? Gregory Santos, he might be able to make it back before the season ends, but that's looking increasingly unlikely. Better chance we see Jimmy Garcia, but that's not until later this month at best. So, yeah, good to see the JP will be back. Great to see Robles back. That bullpen, which is going to be so crucial down the stretch, and if you do find a way into the playoffs, even more so then, still not looking the way you would hope that it would.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Probably in between news on Uchenna Nwosu. Looks like an MCL sprain that's going to force him to miss between 2 and 6 weeks. Ian Rappaport.
Uchenna Nwosu, the Seahawks standout edge, really not a household name, but he is a baller and actually been having a great training camp. Sources say he's going to miss multiple weeks with a knee injury that he suffered on Saturday night. Could actually begin the season on IR. That is one of the reasons they traded earlier today for Trevis Gibson from the Jaguars.
Yeah, so remember, IR now has a new rule this year. You can place up to 2 players on IR on cutdown day, which, by the way, is today. More on that to come. And then they only need to sit out the first 4 weeks. So it's not like an extra long thing. That might be the perfect situation for Uchenna. Yes, today is cutdown day in the NFL. Seahawks have a lot of work to do. You got to get down to that 53-man limit by 1 o'clock this afternoon. Lots of positions to watch. Are they going to carry 3 quarterbacks? Could you trade P.J. Walker? How many wide receivers are going to make this team? The first 3 obvious, but will we see 3 more with Bobo and Young and Laviska Shenault? The secondary, a couple of rookie corners. What happens with them? And Kobe Bryant and Ailing Artie Burns, where does he go? And then obviously offensive line questions, couple of rookie draft picks, a decision looming on Abe Lucas. So a lot of questions there for the Seahawks. That's everything you need to know. 1:15 every hour here in the Brock and Salk Show. I should also point out that the Storm lost last night, but right after Bruce Harrell announced at the ceremony outside Climate Pledge that this little portion of 2nd Ave and between Denny and Lenny Wilkins Way is going to be renamed Sue Bird Court. How about that? That's pretty cool. Yeah, very, very cool. And then I guess while he was there, the mayor told Chris Daniels, we are closer than ever to the Sonics' return, which we all know, but we continue to get excited about these little morsels every time they come out. We all know this. We know how this is going to go. The NBA is in the middle of their process. They're going to name, now that the rights deal is done, they're going to name 2 expansion teams. It's going to be Vegas and Seattle. It's just a matter of waiting for that actual date to come here at some point in the next couple of months. Okay. Dan Wilson sat down with us for an exclusive interview. First he's done since joining the team as their manager. And I thought it was a pretty interesting interview yesterday. Learned a lot about what he wants to accomplish here, what he thinks he can do in this last final sprint to the finish, and why he took the job, why he wants to be a manager in the major leagues. Stick around. You'll hear it all next. It's Brock and Salk, an exclusive interview with Dan Wilson next on Seattle Sports.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
As we sit right now, when we always have this conversation throughout the season, who's the ace? Who's the best pitcher? It's clear. Brian Wu is your best pitcher right now as we sit.
It's incredible.
That's your 5th starter.
I mean, we used to have this conversation. It was like between the first 3, it would be, okay, Castillo, okay, it's Logan, George, but now all of a sudden you're number 5 in the rotation. Just incredible. He just throws strikes. Real simple.
He's been amazing.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Did you know about the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program? You can get an $80 benefit card to spend at local farmers markets. Use it to buy seasonal fruits, vegetables, and honey. Just bring your new SFMNP card with you when you shop. When you make a purchase, the grower will scan your card. Then you'll confirm the purchase with your PIN.
You're all set. Enjoy those tomatoes.
Thank you, I will. Find participating markets, local contacts, and more info at seniorfmnp.com. That's seniorfmnp.com.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here. I know this is the time of year where you may start hearing a little bit of buzzing around your house, right? You might be seeing ants in and around the home, but what about the buzzing outdoors with bees or wasps or hornets? Gosh, if they make a nest on your property, that's a huge nuisance and honestly it can be painful. Somebody gets stung, right? So don't try to take care of that nest on your own. Call a professional, call Pest Pros, and they will have any nest removed and destroyed professionally before the problem grows and you or a guest or a child gets stung. Pest Pros is the full-service pest control division of Crawl Pros, and they use eco-friendly treatments to keep ants or stinging insects, really any sorts of critters, from making their way into your home. Yeah, that includes rats too. So if you're worried about rodents or ants or other bugs, any issue in and around your home, call Pest Pros or just go to gopestpros.com, schedule a free inspection. That's gopestpros.com.
Save up to $1,500 with the best synthetic turf company in the Northwest. Synthetic Turf Northwest, the pioneers of premium synthetic grass systems, have called the Northwest home for over 28 years. Act fast and save your kids, pets, and home from the muddy mess that ensues with our fall and winter weather. Act now and save. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com, 425-788-0718. Enhance your backyard with Synthetic Turf Northwest, where expertise meets excellence.
Madame Giselle senses a change in your future.
Is it a promotion?
I see a door opening.
Ooh, to a corner office?
There's a creature. Beady eyes, lots of hair.
Is it my boss, Dave?
No, raccoons everywhere. Your RV door is open, and they're chewing everything.
Not a problem. I'm covered by Progressive. Do you see a bigger paycheck?
Customize your coverage with Progressive's Pest Damage Protection and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pest Damage Protection available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through September 15th, purchase high-quality GAF with Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon. Always building.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Having quality care matters to everybody. So,
Let's talk about it. Optum Care Washington is healthier primary and specialty care. Your doctor can connect you to the care you need with top clinicians in more than 55 specialties, including podiatry, orthopedics, sports medicine, and spine specialists. And if you ever need ENT, breast, or colorectal surgery, you can count on board-certified surgeons. For top local doctors focused on you, connect with Optum at yourhealthwa.com.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible, it's happening. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 9/22/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eagle bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Hey, college students, want to save more on groceries? Every dollar counts, so my friends at Safeway are helping by giving all university, community, and technical college students an extra 5% savings every day. It's called Safeway for You. Sign up is free and easy. Safeway for You members get extra savings with perks, points, and free products. For all the details and terms, visit Safeway.com/FOR and the letter U. That's Safeway.com/for-you.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
1 out, winning run at third. Miller from the belt. Here's his pitch. Swung on, line drive, center field, base hit, ball game. Dylan Moore scores. The Mariners walk it off, and Dan Wilson wins his first game as Mariners manager.
A Hollywood scriptwriter couldn't have written it any better. Unbelievable moment on Friday night, and then the Mariners go on to win 2 out of 3 and take the series. Dan Wilson's the new skipper, and he joins us right now here on Seattle Sports on 710. Dan, good morning. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, guys. Yeah, good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. It's a new week.
It is. What, before we get to this week, what was your weekend like?
It was a whirlwind, to say the least, but really happy that we're able to win the series and put that behind us now, and we got another series with Tampa starting today.
All right, biggest thing I want to know, and I'm kind of curious because I think it sets up not just this week but the future. What is your vision? You know, if you were in a job interview and someone says, okay, what do you want to bring to the Mariners? What do you want this team to look like? What is your vision for the team moving forward?
Well, I to be honest, I think it's probably not any different than most managers. You know, when you get to spring training, your vision is to win a world championship. And, you build that and you build towards that during the entire season. And in this case, we have, at the time, 34 games, now 31 games to get that accomplished. So I think for me, as I look at it, that's the goal. That's the vision. This is a team that we've talked a lot about how strong the pitching staff is and the incredible work that they've done on the mound and the great defense that we have behind them. And they say that pitching and defense wins championships, and I believe that wholeheartedly. And so this is a window. This is a time where we can get it done, and that's the hope. That's the vision for this club.
My buddy Boy Howdy, who produces my Above and Beyond podcast, texted me on Thursday, Dan, Friday when the news came out, and said, look at this. 5 years ago, you taped a podcast with Dan, and do you know what the messaging, you've been busy as heck, and you don't look at this stuff, but the message, and we would put kind of a title on each of these because they just genuinely came out over those conversations, and the title of that podcast was Living in the Tension. And both Boy Howdy and I just kind of chuckled that 5 years later, living in the tension was so much of your kind of testimony. And here you go. You're going to be thrown right into this situation right here. Does that still fit 5 years later?
Yes, 100%, no doubt about it. And you get into situations, it's tension. There's no doubt about it. And this weekend, all 3 games, 1-run games, tight ball games, and there's a lot of that. There's no question. But obviously having played in that helps. But getting back in the dugout and adjusting to some of that is a big adjustment, and looking forward to doing that. And hopefully I'm a quick study on that, because there is a lot of it. There's no question.
How does that feel? I mean, for so long you've been watching those games from a broadcast booth or from wherever it is else you watch games. I know you've been in the dugout for some in various places, but what is that like, actually being the one going through all the machinations and making the moves?
Well, I mean, when you say the one, I mean, I think there are so many support people around me that are tremendous at what they do. And so, it's not a one-person situation down there at all. And the staff that I have that's been in place, all season is really outstanding. And I couldn't really ask for anything more coming into a situation. This is these are always very difficult situations. I've been through 1 or 2 as a player, and manager changes are hard, and there's a lot of emotion around it and with it. But having a staff that was, very supportive from minute one, and being able to get through, these first few games, and then having a teammate, next to me quite a bit in Edgar, and being able to kind of lean on him a little bit as well has made the transition a little easier. So, I couldn't be doing it without the people around me. There's no question.
Dan, I know it's a different game in many ways than it was even in the era that you played not that long ago. Is it that much different from a managerial standpoint? When you look back at Lou and the decisions that he had to make, and did he have the hitting coach? Did he have the offensive coordinator? Did he have the data? Did he have all of those things leading into a game? Or is it, as you said, just so much more of a collective now?
Yeah, I think you're right. It has changed. I mean, the decisions, when they boil down to the decision, the decisions are still the same, whether you pinch hit or you don't, or whether you pull a pitcher or not. Those decisions are the same as they used to be. But I think that the information behind them is a lot different than it used to be. There's just so much more information behind it. And so, being able to wade through some of that, being able to have it accessible and quickly, and having all those people around you to help you with that, the coaches that have really, been locked into it is so helpful. So it's the same game, that the game doesn't change, but sometimes the behind the scenes things and the things that you look to help you make decisions, those things have changed a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's people. It's helping, trying to get the best out of people that you can.
So that kind of leads into this question, I guess. What kind of manager do you want to be? That title has changed a lot, as you just said, from the time you played. What kind of manager do you want to be?
Well, I mean, I think, having a good relationship with the clubhouse is huge, and that's hopefully one thing that I can establish. It's a relationship that as a manager, as coaching staff, we're there. And really help to support the players, and we want to be in it with them on a daily basis. In some ways too, it's about getting out of the way. I mean, these guys are good players. These guys are the best players in the world at what they do, and so it's giving them what they need, but then allowing them the space and the creativity and the individuality to go out and do their job. The baseball season is a grind. There's no question, and giving them the freedom to go out to play. You have to ride that balance. And as Brock pointed out, there's a tension there, right? When do you pull tighter? When do you let go? Those are the decisions you got to make. But ultimately, it's about the players. It's about, getting them ready to play on a daily basis and letting them go out and grind it out.
How often do you message the entire clubhouse?
I mean, we did the first day. I think it's appropriate in those kinds of situations when there's a manager change to address the team. But it's not a very often thing that the manager will talk to the entire team. It's a lot more one-on-one conversations. It's a lot more thought through conversations with players. Whether it's a group of players, whether it's position players, pitchers, whatever the case may be, hitters. But for the most part, it's not a collective talking in front of the whole group.
So in that first, not asking for the details of every single thing you said, but what was the biggest message to the team in that moment?
Well, I think we got 34 games left, and to go out and to win this thing, it's not going to, it's baseball. It's never going to be handed to you, and we're going to have to go out and win it. And so just playing hard for 9 innings and making sure that we're grinding it out. I mean, it's just such a baseball saying, but it really does, come to fruition, especially this time of year when guys get tired, and it's been a long year, but this is the crunch time. And so, playing hard 9 innings, which these guys have really done. I mean, it was such a great weekend to see that. And some of the late at bats that we've had, to kind of pull us out and pull a couple ball games out has been tremendous. So, just couldn't be happier with the way the guys have responded. It's a tough situation, but these guys have responded really, really well.
So when the text comes from Jerry, or the phone call comes from Jerry, did you have any inkling that this was a possibility last week?
No, I didn't. And, it definitely took me by surprise. But at the same time, I was excited. It's an opportunity of a lifetime, and I've been around the team for a while. I have relationships with some of the guys from, in and through the minor leagues. So there was a lot of familiarity there. And that has also really, really helped in the transition. So, couldn't be more grateful and want to do the best job possible. Very honored and humbled by, the opportunity, and just really want to give, the Mariner organization, the fans in Seattle, the best job and the best team that we can have.
Why did you want to do this?
Well, I mean, for those reasons, I think that been in baseball a long time, and it was an opportunity to lead what is really an outstanding team. And again, just helping to do what I can, along with the coaching staff, to help these guys and help all of us get to the playoffs again, and hopefully into that World Series and a World Championship here in Seattle.
I think we're all aligned in this way, the three of us. We all have strong wives as well that are part of our lives in a wonderful way. So when you get off the phone and you tell your wife, like, well, what do you think? What was the reaction?
Well, I can't say, my wife has been tremendous through it all. There's a lot on her plate as well. She's a outstanding school teacher in her own right. She teaches reading. She also works for a nonprofit here in Seattle that has to do with reading and kids. And so there's a lot on her plate going forward as well. And so it was definitely a family decision about the time commitment, everything that's involved. And it's a great point, Brock, because these aren't just one-off decisions. It's a decision that we both came to together, and we talked about it, and we know what the baseball season is about. We've been through it for many, many years, and so understanding that and knowing that, and then getting back to the reality of that is another thing. And we're just so excited for the opportunity, and at the end of the day, just want to do the best job that we can.
I think if it was my wife, it would have started off with an apology. Heather, I'm sorry. They've called and they'd like me to take this job. Let me start off by apologizing.
You know what? I think with Molly, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah.
Molly, I got to tell you something.
I got to tell you something. You're not going to like this, but yeah.
It's really cool, but I know it's going to take me from home that much more. Oh, fun stuff.
Talking to Dan Wilson here, new Mariners manager, and apparently projecting our own marital issues onto him and his family, which is nice of us here. The team obviously has struggled to hit this year. Why, not that can be necessarily summed up in one sentence, but why do you think they've struggled to hit, and what can be done differently in the last 31 games here to hit better?
Well, I think, again, we've looked at a lot of the things. There's no question that we've, had a lot of strikeouts during the season. And I think one of the things we're looking at, again, is being able to make some more two-strike adjustments and being able to put more balls in play. And especially with runners in scoring position, we are able to generate a lot of traffic. And so being able to hit situationally, being able to hit with runners in scoring position, those are going to be focuses for us. And, you can't ask a better person than Edgar Martinez to help you, work on those things, change those things. And I know he has tremendous respect in that clubhouse, and he's been working with the hitters throughout the season with that. And so, again, it'll be an easy transition for him with them. And I think he has really made an impact already in the 3 days that he's been here. And, I couldn't have asked for more from Gar.
Is that a philosophical difference with 2 strikes, or is it just a
physical?
Is it a physical difference? Is it a philosophical difference? We've heard a lot over the years about the Mariners, and hey, with 2 strikes, they still want you to make sure that if you don't think it's a strike, even if it's close, let it go and try to take the walk, etc. Are you talking a philosophical difference, or just grinding through it mentally differently?
Well, I think it's a combination of both. And here we go again with tension. There's physical changes you can make. There's approach changes you can make. There's mental changes you can make. So, each guy is going to be a little bit different. But I think that's what Gar brings to the plate for us. Sorry for the pun, but it really is. He is, so he was not just a talented hitter. Gar was a student of hitting. And so when you look at what he brings to the table with his ability to break down a swing, yes, mechanically, but his thoughts and feelings on approach, his thoughts and feelings on your mindset in the batter's box. I mean, those things are all things that come into play when you're talking about 2-strike situations. And I think he really is outstanding at all of it.
Were the 21 walks over 3 days a byproduct more of the San Francisco Giants pitchers, or a byproduct a little more of that approach?
I think we caught the Giants, and Snell was a little bit off on Saturday and was missing quite a bit. Our guys were very, very patient, and I think again, there is a relative amount of patience. You want to get a good pitch to hit, and so there is that part to it as well. But when they do see a pitch, when there is a pitch in the zone, just being aggressive and being able to drive it. So I think the guys by nature are pretty patient, and they're going to get their walks. We're going to get traffic on the bases, and that was a big part of being able to be competitive this weekend and get the couple W's that we did.
Did I see a bunt yesterday in the 5th inning with man on first and nobody out?
Yes, Rivas bunted. Yes, he did.
Who called that?
So,
Who calls for a bunt with a runner on first and nobody out in today's baseball game?
I didn't know what to do. I saw it and I was confused. I think I heard computers being slammed down to the ground all over the United States baseball community.
Well, I tell you what, Leo Rivas has been tremendous for us, and getting that huge. I thought that at bat on Friday night to win the ball game, the walk-off hit was just, again, just an outstanding at bat, using the middle of the field in that situation. And what a great thrill for him. It was, that was an awesome night and one I'll never forget.
Well, but is that going to be a little bit more of the game we'll see? Will we see the game? Will we see more small ball? Will we see a hit and run? Will we see more sacrifice bunts? Is that something you want to bring to the game?
Well, I mean, I don't know that it's all going to be, contextual. I mean, it's all context dependent, and we'll just kind of see how things go as the season rolls on. But, when you get to this part in the season and you get to close ball games, you get to playoff type atmospheres and playoff type baseball, small ball does come into play a little bit more. And so we'll just, again, there's a lot to learn. There's a huge learning curve when it comes to doing this. And so I'm just continuing to try to learn as much as possible, and we'll see how things go.
Was it called Dinky Town when you were at Minnesota way back when still, or is that a newer thing? It was called Dinky Town, huh? Well, I'm
it's for Minneapolis. See, it's a mini city, Dinky Town.
Oh,
there you go.
Well, now I know that Thursday night on the broadcast. I may have to throw that into Benetti because I got your Gophers on Thursday night for their season opener. I'm going to sit down with the coaches on Wednesday. And it strikes me, Danny, of like 18 years on the road, talking to these coaches, they all say the same thing. The communicating with players today really isn't that much different than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. Sure, right? Some of the maybe ways and the avenues to do so is different, but I'm curious, as you talked about from the very onset, Salk asked you about culture and what you want to do. You want to connect with these guys, you want to communicate with them as kind of the individuals. Do you find that much different than it was in your years in Dinky Town or in that clubhouse in the old King Dome and otherwise?
I think to some degree, no, it hasn't changed much. I mean, it's still connecting with people, and I think they're exactly right. And I think it's a very, very important aspect, and it's pretty fundamental to any kind of a team situation. So hopefully, that's something that I can continue to do, keep avenues of communication open. When guys I want guys to have a voice. I mean, obviously this is it's a team effort all around. And so, keeping that communication open, what can I do, to help you today? And that kind of an approach, and again, it's hearing from those guys and also letting them go play.
How do you unlock Julio?
I think he has since coming back from the injury. Obviously, it takes a little bit, but before he got hurt, I think he was really in a great place, and it's just really for him a matter of getting back to that spot. But again, he's such a vital part of our lineup, such a vital part of our club, and such a leader. And I'm looking forward to continuing to establish a good relationship with him and keep working on that. And looking forward to seeing when he explodes, how fun that's going to be.
If you're going to take your first managerial job, how much does it help to have this starting rotation to take over?
It's okay.
Like, hey,
it's
if I'm going to be a manager, all right, fine, I'll do it with these 5 starting pitchers. I would imagine that played a role in your decision.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great staff. There's no question about it. And like I said at the beginning, having a good pitching staff and having a great defense it's a great recipe, and it helps you win a lot of ball games. And that's definitely a huge advantage, and that's a sort of an earmark of our club right now. And when you talk about late season baseball, when you talk about playoff type atmosphere and playoff baseball, having great pitching each night when you're in it each night really, really helps you. And these guys have done an outstanding job. Pete Woodworth, Trent Blank, the whole pitching crew does such great work in preparing our pitchers and the players, the pitchers each night, and coming up with a plan. I think, one of the things that our team really prides itself on is the process that they have behind it. And they have really done a great job with that. And our guys are ready to go each day.
Last thing for me here, Dan, do you manage differently? I know you had 6 games at Tacoma, but do you manage differently when it's now 31 and a sprint to the end than you would manage maybe over the course of 162?
Well, I mean, it's a tough question to answer only because, there's not a lot to compare it to at this point. But I just know that the one thing, we want and the one thing we talked about was just playing hard for 9 innings and continuing to battle each day, each at bat. And these guys so far have done a tremendous job of that. And, that's really what we're looking for down the stretch.
Last thing for me as well, and just because it came up a lot last week, and I think there were people who were surprised often, in a situation like this with 40 games or under 40 games left in a season, we see an interim manager named. There's no interim tag. You're the manager. This is a job you want moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was something that I was hoping to do long term if we were going to do it, and I'm looking forward to, again, this opportunity here at the end of the season, and then beyond that as well. So again, I couldn't be more grateful, for the opportunity, and really want to do the best job that I can.
That moment on Friday night must have been pretty surreal, as he has the walk-off hit after everything that you had seen and had happened over the course of the previous couple of days. To have it all come to a culmination Friday night with a come-from-behind walk-off win. What did you do when you went home? I mean, it must have just felt so, again, surreal.
It was. It was a crazy several days. 2 or 3 days, and then to have that happen was just tremendous. And again, just the way they battled the entire game. I mean, to see them come from behind like they did, and then to get those runners in late in the game, and then that bat by Leo in I think it was the 10th. Might have been the 11th. I guess it was the 10th.
It was the 10th, yeah. To get that final one in was just it was just a great way to have a first game in the big leagues as a manager, and again looking forward to seeing where we go from here. Well, we appreciate it. We know you're a busy guy. We'll let you get going and start getting ready for tonight. No rest as the Tampa Bay Rays are in town. Thank you for doing this morning. It's great to hear kind of what you're thinking and what this is going to look like. We really appreciate it, and continue good luck.
All right, thanks guys. Appreciate it.
That was Dan Wilson, new Mariners manager, sitting down with us for an exclusive interview yesterday. His first, and I believe still his only, since taking over the job. And he's 3-1. His team is 3.5 games back. They are right back in the thick of things. And baseball is the strangest darn sport you will ever watch. Brock's in next. We got a lot more to talk about, including that one big word, patience. It's next on Brock and Salk Seattle Sports on 710 CLSports.com.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
The Seahawks have made a trade with the Jags for linebacker Trevis Gibson. They'll send Jacksonville a late-round pick in return. What's the real headline?
If you're a linebacker, you might get traded to the Seahawks today, too.
This is football, man. That's why you got to be deep. That's why it's important you watch this preseason and you see what Tyrese Knight is doing. You see what Derek Hall is doing, because eventually they are going to have to play. Hopefully you don't rely on those guys a lot, but this is ball, man. It's a violent game.
Yeah.
And when one guy goes down, other things happen.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today and ask about our trade-in sale. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
Hey, Bob Stelton here, and have you heard that metal roofs are all the rage? A metal roof lasts longer, it's more eco-friendly, and is a great option for adding solar panels. Asset Roofing is leading the local push in metal roofing, and they can even offer metal roofs for up to 30% less than their competitors. You're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset. Head to AssetRoofingCo.com.
Certified work that's never in doubt. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Kick off fall with Labor Day deals at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on select interior paint via Lowe's gift card rebate for your next paint project. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members save more on select 1.5 pint or 1 quart mums. Get 5 for just $10. Shop these can't-miss deals today before they're gone. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 9/4 while supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at Lowes.com/terms. Subject to change. See Lowes.com/rebates for details.
For tank and tankless hot water heaters, for clogged drains, for leaky faucets, for toilets that won't flush. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is your trusted source to solve all your plumbing needs. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence dyne test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Get me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
Brought to you by Simply Seattle.
We're going to accuse you of energy.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710. 30 minutes from now, we will have another code for Madden with Brock on the call. So we'll get 2 lucky contestants on the air with a new challenge to see if they can win a free game of Madden, which should be pretty exciting. I know. It's been interesting so far. We got some football to talk today. Big football day as it's cut down day around the league, and so that information will be coming out throughout. And we got some Geno Smith stuff to talk about a little bit later as well. So some big football stuff today. Jeff Passan will join us at 8:30. And oh, by the way, yesterday we had our exclusive interview with Dan Wilson. And he went out and won another game last night. His team is 3-1 since he took over.
So all they do is win. All they do is win, no matter what. 3 out of 4. And you know the recipe. Just score 4 runs. Just score 4 runs. I don't even care about no magic numbers. I don't care that they're 3.5 back with 30 to go. The number for these Seattle Mariners in 2024 is one number and one number alone, and that is 4. And when they score 4, they are now 54-11. 54-11. When you just find a way not to put 5, not to put 6, not to put some absurd number up in a league where offense has been suppressed and difficult, just put up 4 runs a game and you're 54-11.
What are other teams when they put
not
up
that
4
good.
runs a game?
Not like that.
Really?
Yeah, not like that.
So you have the best record in the league when you score 4 runs?
Oh, I'd probably bet my savings on that. I don't know that for sure, but I can do a little digging. But yes, it is a very.
I'm curious, and I'm not doubting the stat. It's a wonderful stat, and we all know it makes intrinsic logical sense because the Mariners' offense has been lousy and incompetent over the course of the year, and their pitching has been unbelievable. I'm just curious what other teams do when they score 4 runs. Like, I would think a lot of teams win a lot of games. That's not easy to do every day in Major League Baseball.
No, it's not. No, it is not. But when you do it, and when you've got this staff, I was also doing a little bit of digging. Brian Woo's now at 87 innings, by the way, coming back, and has just been a horse and continues to be. Bryce, another 7 last night. I think those 4 guys are now all over 150 innings, topped by 165 with Logan, who goes on the mound again tonight and could.
Luis tonight.
Oh, it is Luis tonight. And the next time Logan's out may surpass, and be number 1 in the league.
I think it's Luis tonight, right?
Is it Luis tonight?
Or is it Logan tonight? Maybe it's Logan tonight. Maybe I've screwed that up.
Wow, thanks. Whatever.
It should be Logan. It should be Logan and then Luis.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I kind of thought so.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It is Logan.
Yeah. Those guys, if Brian Woo qualified, and he does not yet, if he qualified with his 87 innings, Brian Woo would be number 1 in the league in WHIP. Logan Gilbert would be number 2 in the league in WHIP. And because Bryce Miller has just found a way to not walk people anymore, whatever little magic pixie dust that George Kirby has in that regard, he has sprinkled a little bit on his Texan buddy Bryce. That dude doesn't walk people anymore. 10 Ks last night, no walks. He's number 4 in all of baseball. You would have 1, 2, and tied for 4th in all of baseball when it comes to walks and hits per innings pitched.
Pretty incredible. And Pitching Ninja puts out those little overlays, and sometimes he puts them out, and I'm like, yeah, all right. Like, of course, you found 2 pitches that move in different directions, but they break fairly early or this and that. He put out one of Bryce Miller yesterday, and it's not the most dramatic difference that I've seen in terms of where the 2 pitches end up, but it might have the latest break that I've seen, if that makes sense. So, and again, I'm not judging that with numbers. I'm just judging that as, my eyes and sort of memory and anecdotally. But it sure looks like when that ball decides to either go straight or down is pretty darn late. It's real close to the batter. And it just makes it so much harder to figure out exactly what he's doing.
Well, here's a number for you if you do want a number. You talked about Bryce Miller's splitter in the first hour. Guys are slugging this year. Not average, slugging 256 against it. Like, people are not hitting it. It has been an unreal pitch all year.
Well, he talked through that too yesterday, by the way. Like that splitter has been a bit of a game changer. I don't want to go too deep into this here, but he talked about an adjustment that he made that has really helped him.
When they can't just sit heater, it makes things a lot easier for me. And I think I've been locating my off speed really well the last probably 2 months or so. Whenever I throw the splitter, I kind of made an adjustment 2 months ago with the splitter. I think the whiff kind of went down, and I was throwing a lot of them away to lefties, but they were up, and that it plays a lot better when it's underneath and over the plate. So I tried to get that over and under, and whenever I have that underneath and then the curveball underneath as well, I can go either way, righties or lefties, and I think it's really opened up the bottom, which also opens up the top.
And you know what that leads to, Brock?
Yeah.
That one huge word that we kind of keep talking about, confidence. What's been the difference from the Mariners of the last 4 days and the Mariners that we saw the previous couple of weeks? Again, I think there's a lot of narrative out there that I'm not sure is entirely accurate. The biggest difference I've seen, they're starting to play with some confidence again, right? Josh Rojas is hitting with confidence again. He hasn't hit with confidence in 3.5 months. Dylan Moore is running the bases with confidence. Jorge Polanco is swinging the bat with confidence. Randy Arozarena was swinging the bat yesterday with great confidence. And I think, Bryce Miller's been doing this for a while. That's not just the last couple of weeks. Obviously, the pitching staff has done that throughout the course of the year. But when he feels confident in where those pitches are going to go and what that plan and strategy is coming in, you just see an incredible difference. If I was, what do I think is the biggest difference between the Mariners in the last 4 games and before that? I think there's just been some new confidence. And that, happened.
Where that comes from, what,
who the heck knows?
Exactly.
Right? They fired Brant Brown and went out and scored a bunch of runs in the next few games. And we were like, oh, maybe that was the difference. And then that wasn't the difference. So, again, small sample sizes in baseball don't mean a lot. Dan's doing a heck of a job. He certainly hasn't done anything wrong during his 4 games there.
They did, again, last night you pointed this out, and it's true, in our little text. They are trying to go the other way.
A little bit more.
I wish Julio wouldn't. I wish he would just,
I know, right?
That he's the one that does not need to do that, but he's trying. You saw Cal try to put a bunt, at least show a bunt when he gets hit. They're at least.
I don't think he's actually bunting there.
You don't think he was?
No, I've seen him do that before.
Okay.
Let's all hope.
You thought he was a little. You thought he was a little leaguer, just trying to draw a ball, on a
just
count.
kind of showing, going to put this out here. Maybe the third baseman will move in a step. I didn't get the idea Cal was actually bunting, and if he was actually bunting, let's all have a conversation and an intervention with Cal. I don't want to see Cal bunt. I want to see Cal swing for the fences. That's what he's good at. So let's all hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of the bunt. Because we had this conversation, right?
To bunt or not to bunt?
Well, we had this conversation about Leo Rivas and the bunt he laid down in the 5th inning with a man on first, et cetera. And we asked Dan about it yesterday, and I told you that I got a text afterwards like, hey, are you sure that he was bunting with Dan's approval and permission? Going back and listening to it again, I don't think Dan was wild about it. First, I said, did we see a bunt? And Dan goes, yeah. That was Leo Rivas. It was not exactly, that's something we really want to do quite a bit of. And then we said, okay, is that something you want to do more of?
Well, I tell you what, Leo Rivas has been tremendous for us. And, getting that huge, I thought that at-bat on Friday night.
Yeah, not going to talk about
win the ball game, the walk-off hit was.
Yeah, he changed the subject immediately. We're not going to talk about bunting in the 5th inning. I'm not going to sit here and bury a guy for doing something that made absolutely no baseball sense in 2024. So let me just talk about, what he did later in the game the night before to help win.
Yeah.
Thank you to the person who texted me and turned me onto that idea, because you're absolutely right. In listening back to that and in just using some common sense, I don't think Dan Wilson wants his team bunting in the 5th inning. So let's end this whole small ball narrative. They won yesterday because of
playing hard,
because of 2 home runs on
doing
things
runs. The right way, scoring some runs, putting the ball in play, hitting it the other way, having a 2-strike approach. Those are going to be the things over the next 30 games that I think in his mind could philosophically look a little bit different. And so far with this pitching, so good. And by the way, I'm done. I've got to end the show. I am done.
Why?
I've got to get a different job. I got to go work a hedge fund because I lost my savings. It's not the Mariners, number 1. It's the San Diego Padres, number 1. So bet my savings, lost my savings. I love you all. It's been
because I know how you are with savings.
It's been a hell of a almost 16-year ride.
Brock doesn't trust the market. Brock doesn't trust mortgages.
I am.
I would have made some serious cash.
I appreciate you.
If I had laid that bet.
Lyle, it's been a great week, but I am officially done.
All right, we'll give you some other things you need to know next. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, SeattleSports.com.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
As we sit right now, when we always have this conversation throughout the season, who's the ace? Who's the best pitcher? It's clear. Brian Wu is your best pitcher right now as we sit.
It's incredible.
That's your 5th starter.
I mean, we used to have this conversation. It was like between the first 3. It would be, okay, Castillo, okay, it's Logan, George. But now all of a sudden you're number 5 in the rotation. Just incredible. He just throws strikes. Real simple.
He's been amazing.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
When a product is made better, it lasts longer. Sounds simple, but Toyota of Kirkland wants you to know it's actually savvy. With Toyota's certified program at Toyota of Kirkland, you can score a high-quality, low-mileage Toyota at a great price. Talk about savvy. The tremendous team at Toyota of Kirkland has plenty of certified inventory for you to come see, test drive, and take home all in the same day. Now that's truly savvy. Visit the Savvy showroom at Toyota of Kirkland today or toyotaofkirkland.com.
Did you know about the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program? You can get an $80 benefit card to spend at local farmers markets. Use it to buy seasonal fruits, vegetables, and honey. Just bring your new SFMNP card with you when you shop. When you make a purchase, the grower will scan your card. Then you'll confirm the purchase with your PIN.
You're all set. Enjoy those tomatoes.
Thank you. I will.
Find participating markets, local contacts, and more info at seniorfmnp.com. That's seniorfmnp.com.
The Puget Sound Boys and Girls Club means a safe place for our kids to grow, to have fun, to build relationships, and become themselves. Because of partners like Boeing, we're able to do a lot. It's super exciting for our kids to know that Boeing volunteers are here to help them, to have fun with them, to create good experiences. It provides a brighter lens for their future.
Having quality care matters. So, let's talk about it. Nobody likes not feeling their best, but it's comforting to know top local doctors are nearby when you need one. Optum Care Washington is here with exceptional primary and specialty care, from OBGYN and family medicine to urology and gastroenterology. We also accept most Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, with over 45 Puget Sound locations, Optum offers peace of mind close to school, work, and home. Discover all the ways Optum is here for you at yourhealthwa.com.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Fall Classic Collector Car, Truck, and Boat Auction. Saturday, August 31st at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Events Center. Gates open at 9 a.m., auction starts at 10 a.m. Up to 200 collector, vintage, and classic vehicles. Many going to the highest lucky bidder with absolutely no reserve. Get lucky, get local, and get in line. Visit LuckyOldCar.com. That's LuckyOldCar.com or call 206-467-6531 for bidding and consignment details.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 9/22/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Equal bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
After his accident, our daughter-in-law arranged for us to meet with 3 different law firms, and the Davis Law Group was the clear choice.
Throughout the entire process, I've been pretty neutral in terms of my emotions. When I found out the Supreme Court had ruled in our favor, I just remember that I was exhilarated. It was very elating. Chris did a great job in bringing it to closure.
We always felt that they were going above and beyond.
Hi, this is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. Big Trees has certified arborists and site experts who help you select the right trees for the right location on your property. When Big Trees installs a tree, we offer a 1-year warranty and 1 free aftercare visit from a board-certified master arborist. To learn more about our process, visit BigTreeSupply.com.
I was having trouble getting up and down my stairs at home. I thought, well, this isn't going to work because how am I going to go to Utah and do some hiking?
When Judy came to Sound Pain Solutions, her knee pain was preventing her from enjoying an active lifestyle. She was diagnosed with osteoarthritis. She tried numerous treatments and was told she should have surgery. I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We were able to get Judy back to hiking with our comprehensive, non-surgical, and drug-free treatment.
I think that the Trigenics that they do along with the adjustment, the pressure wave, and the PRP are the best options for joint pain. And I would really recommend it to anybody who is suffering from joint pain and would like to avoid surgery.
Schedule the free consultation to learn if you qualify for our safe, drug-free, non-surgical treatment by calling Sound Pain Solutions or visiting soundpainsolutions.com.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
The ebbs and flows of a baseball season. A few days ago, it seemed insurmountable. Today, the deficit is only 3.5 games. Astros lose to Philly last night. Mariners get busy at home. They fall behind by a run early, and then they got going. Home run from Polanco to get on the board. Then an error, a lucky bounce on third base. 2 runners on, Randy Arozarena making the Rays pay.
Arozarena drives one. Right field. Look it up. That baby's going to get out of here. A 3-run homer, Randy Arozarena against this former team. And the Mariners have a 4-1 lead here in the third.
I know which was more impactful to the game. Which was your favorite Randy highlight from last night? That or his reaction to getting drilled in the shoulder?
Why does he get hit so much?
I don't know.
I mean, Ty France dove over the plate. You kind of had a sense and felt like, yeah, you dive over the plate. Does Randy dive over the plate?
I don't think so.
I mean,
he is close to the plate.
He is close to the plate, and he is an absolute magnet. That's 90 times his team has been hit by pitches, most in all of baseball.
Hates it. He hates it a lot more than Ty France did. Ty France get hit and sort of like happily, like a golden retriever, jog on down to first base. Ty France Randy Arozarena is furious.
He turns his back every time, and I would love to know the secret murmurs of the catcher into his ears.
Oh, man. He is so mad. Anyway, 5-1 the final. What was different? They did get a couple breaks. They did go the other way a little bit. They made some good contact, and they scored 5 runs. Only 2 of them were earned, but they score 5 runs, and it's hard to judge baseball in a small sample size. The one thing I would say is that I think it's looked a little prettier to the eye the last couple of days than maybe it did previously.
They just, they're not giving their opponent quite as much, right? Defense has been pretty solid all year long. That road trip was really difficult. But, Perry's got the boys continuing to be pretty sharp on that end. And when you don't walk anybody and you strike out 10 and you've only got to make 17 plays in the field with no free runners, you got a pretty good chance. You know one number that really
struck out more than 10. Their starter struck
that's
out
true.
10.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they probably struck out 13, 14 in the game. And then Dan was pretty happy with the offense.
We were given an advantage there. We were given an extra out, and oftentimes in this league, when you give a team an extra out, it comes back to haunt you, and it did tonight for Tampa. We got a couple guys on, and then just a great at bat from Randy, and to drive that ball into the seats the other way. Big home run for us. It was just good offense tonight all around.
So I've been kind of hard on the nerds lately. Nerds. Especially yesterday. I'm going to be nice to a nerd today. I was nerding out looking at all these numbers that the Mariners put out, and the PR team does a great job, and their stats folks. You know what number that really surprised me? Like, I know Jorge Polanco has been much better since the All-Star break. Did you see his OPS since the All-Star break? 884.
Yeah.
And he was
right since we were done with him.
He was scorching hot. Yeah, I think right before the All-Star break.
Talking about that at 6 o'clock. This game, man. The moment you are convinced something is finally no, you still have to be patient another week because everything will change again. It is just absurd. They get back around to Logan Gilbert tonight, Game 2 against the Rays.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
We may have a really interesting lineup question coming up as well. J.P. Crawford's getting awfully close to a return. Played in a few rehab games with the Rainiers. He was at T-Mobile yesterday for a sim game and could be in the lineup by, maybe tomorrow? Interestingly, though, that would take their hottest hitter out of the lineup, right? Leo Rivas has just been on fire recently. And what do? You're going to send Rivas down to the minor leagues? I bring him back in September, but that's still a week away. I don't know if that's something you necessarily want to do. Victor Robles feeling a little bit better. He, of course, was hitting the finger, and he was supposed to be available to maybe pinch hit last night. He will be back in the lineup, we think, today. The news out of the pen, though, Brock, not as positive. That idea of Gregory Santos.
What a great wrestling name it would have been.
The idea.
From parts unknown. The idea.
Yeah, well.
6'3", 250. Where is the idea?
Probably not going to pitch again this year. Maybe in September. We'll see. Jimmy Garcia should be able to go again, but that's not going to be until late September as well. So, unfortunately, the news not spectacular on those two guys.
Oh, man, the idea, it's been rough. It's been a lat. It's been a knee. It's been a bicep. The dude has just been a walking Brock Hewitt.
What would you do with J.P. Crawford and Rivas when he comes back?
That's a good question. We'll have to dig into that a little later.
Yeah, I also have another little theory I would kind of like to throw out there.
Oh, boy.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
In your theory.
I know. Speaking of injury updates, we did get one on Uchenna Nwosu yesterday. It's an MCL sprain, so it could be a lot worse, but it could be a lot better. Sounds like he's going to miss 2 to 6 weeks. And new IR rules, Brock, allow you to put a player on IR today, cut down day, and they only have to miss the first 4 weeks of the season.
I believe 2 guys. So if you want to do that with an
2.
Abe Lucas, yes, those would be the 2 to keep an eye on.
That is pretty interesting. I guess you would maybe say that as well about Artie Burns would be another. Although, Abe Lucas could go on PUP.
He could.
Burns
he hasn't passed his physical. Actually,
right.
He may not have to. He absolutely never passed his physical.
But both Burns and Nwosu would need to be put on this IR.
But you do have 2 weeks till the opening game, right? They do not play this week. So
Right.
do you want to, if he were to heal quickly, do you want him to miss 2 games when he could possibly play? Do you want to be ultra conservative early when you've got a couple rookie quarterbacks? I mean, these are all the things that
All
you
questions,
balance.
but you have to decide today. Today is cut down day for so the Nwosu decision would need to be today. And there's a bunch of other roster decisions, right? How many quarterbacks are you going to carry? If you don't go with 3, are you going to be able to trade PJ Walker for anything? Wide receivers, I think we know the first 3, maybe the next 2. Are you going to carry 6? Secondary, you got 2 rookie corners. You got a couple of draft picks in the offensive line room that are rookies. Are you going to carry all of them? They got some real questions today.
They do. And they've already been busy. What is it, 4 trades that they have made over the last week or so? And that is one thing about the guys in charge of the personnel on Royal Brougham. The one thing that the guys share, if there was a bridge between the 2 stadiums, Jerry and John like to trade. And they got a lot of relationships with a lot of people to make those trades happen. To answer your question about P.J. Walker, I don't think so. Good first game, last couple. And there's going to be enough QBs all around the league that may move or shuffle a little bit. So don't think there's a lot of value you're going to get out of that one.
All right, there you go. That is everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show.
Theory, huh? You got to get another.
It's not even a theory. Just an idea. It's more of an idea, kind of like Gregory Santos. Would you have any interest in Jason Hayward for the last month of the season? He was DFA'd by the Dodgers. Yesterday, he was officially released. So if you want him, he's yours for free. I think the way the rules are, you wouldn't be able to use him in the postseason if you got there. But who would you rather have on your roster for the last month? Dominic Canzone or Jason Hayward?
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have Jason Hayward.
Yeah.
And it's not that he's a significant upgrade. His year this year has not been incredible. Though last year he had over an 800 OPS.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, it was better than I thought. Like, I looked it up yesterday.
Yeah, pretty good environment.
Yeah, obviously those things help. Again, there's no one way to look at these things in a vacuum. But yeah, this year he's been okay. Not great. 289 on base percentage is not ideal. About a 400 slugging percentage. So he can still, make contact and hit the ball hard on occasion. I mean, he's 34 years old. But last year with the Dodgers, in 813 OPS, he hit 269. That was last year. Again, I'm not saying that he is, a huge upgrade, and I wouldn't want him long-term over Dom Canzone, who's a young player with, some real opportunity to grow. But a guy who's got some significant experience in playoff
and he hits
baseball.
left-handed too, right?
They're both left-handed.
He strikes out less than 20% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could be convinced that that's a conversation they should be having. It's a short-term thing. You don't owe him any money. The Dodgers are picking up the whole salary. He's free agent at the end of the year.
30 games.
And he's, I think, a really well-respected teammate, if I'm not mistaken. He's one of those guys that everybody absolutely loves. So I'll throw it out there. Haven't heard anything. I don't know if that's something the Mariners are interested in or not. But if I were in Justin and Jerry's shoes, I would sure be taking a hard look at Jason Hayward, even if he's mostly done, just because what's there to lose over Dominic
And he's been there and
Canzone?
done it. He's been there and done it.
Well, and in a couple days, you can bring up how many more, because you can't bring up all the players you used to be able to. What's the number now that you can bring up? Do you know, Lyle?
I think it's just one position player and one pitcher. So
That's ridiculous. They should be able to bring up a couple. That is so stupid. Because you could do it and then,
Will you open up the phone lines?
Why?
Okay, because we got a game. We got a Madden game to give away.
The fact that you can only bring up 2 in September now is
Go ahead,
ridiculous.
turn the key and open the phone lines.
All right, people want to win Madden.
866-979-3776. 866-979-3776.
You got to know your Brock and Salk Show guests, though, in order to win this. In order to win today, you got to know your guests. You got to be. You got to have a keen ear, and you have to want to win a copy of Madden for Xbox. That's next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
The Seahawks have made a trade with the Jags for linebacker Trevis Gibson. They'll send Jacksonville a late-round pick in return. What's the real headline?
If you're a linebacker, you might get traded to the Seahawks today, too.
This is football, man. That's why you got to be deep. That's why it's important you watch this preseason and you see what Tyrese Knight is doing. You see what Derek Hall is doing, because eventually they are going to have to play. Hopefully you don't rely on those guys a lot, but this is ball, man. It's a violent game. And when one guy goes down, other things happen.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and I did lose 35 pounds, it's true, in just 8 weeks with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, and they do a phenomenal job of helping you keep it off, but you got to actually follow the program, right? And generally what you do is you build in kind of a weight at which, okay, I might gain a couple back, but if I get to this, then I want to make sure I, get back down to where I'm supposed to be. And when I hit that recently, I was like, okay, well, I'll just jump on the program here for a little bit, and my gosh, I had forgotten how easy it was and how successful it is. The recipes are great, the food is awesome, it's all real food that you buy at the grocery store, and a week back, and I've lost essentially 11 or 12 pounds in a week. It's just been, so easy and so rewarding. So if you are having a problem, if you feel like the summer has gotten away from you and the weight is starting to get away from you, give this program a try. It really does work. It's incredibly effective. It's why I've been doing these ads, because this is a program that absolutely works. I'm proud to be part of that Eastside Weight Loss family. Go to eastsideweightlossklinik.com for more. That's eastsideweightlossklinik.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, DC. Results may vary.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Using the Labor Day weekend to get some work done? We got you. Stop by any store to save on oil, fuel system cleaner, wipers, and more. Looking for an end of summer wash? We've got deals for that too. Don't want to leave the garage? Get same-day delivery on AutoZone.com. Do Labor Day your way by getting something done at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
What's wrong?
My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation.
Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card?
Uh-huh.
Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase.
Really?
Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Between his hobbies and decades of work in a boatyard, Philip had put his body through a lot.
I'm an avid fly fisherman and an avid skier. It takes its toll.
Not to mention one other thing.
I had a near-fatal motorcycle accident. Absolutely obliterated my lower left leg again.
Philip couldn't live with the pain anymore, so he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Listening to all these radio spots, I said, what do I got to lose?
What was your experience like with Dr. Wagner?
What I was so impressed with Mark about is that how often you have a surgery like this, and the guy calls you the next day to see how you're doing. I can't say enough good things about the guy, honestly.
And how are you feeling now?
I have no pain, none. Zero.
Wow. So would you recommend stem cell therapy to others?
I'm a fan, believe me. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Listen throughout the week to the Mariners Player Spotlight.
Ever since I got here, I want to win a World Series in Seattle, and this city's starving for another winning team.
Presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Two things you're looking at when you're shopping for a new car or SUV: choice and exceptional deals. Visit our friends at Mazda of Everett and you'll be satisfied with both. Which Mazda moves you? Find out at Mazda of Everett. Choose from over 600 new Mazdas in stock, and right now they're offering 0% financing on all new Mazda CX-5s, CX-30s, CX-50s, and CX-90s on approved credit. Need more reasons? They also treat you like family and want you to drive away happy. See for yourself at MazdaofEverett.com.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Other places make you pay extra for that. But at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from less. Book your appointment at leschwab.com. Terms and conditions apply. See leschwab.com for details.
You know, someone asked me the other day, do you know how many devices the average home has connected to their Wi-Fi network? Well, it's way more than I thought. I actually went home and counted how many connected devices I own, and it is more than a dozen, all to keep me connected to the good stuff. My streaming, my gaming, all my interneting, you name it. And Xfinity knows that the number of devices we have connected to our internet is growing by the year. That's why they engineered their gateways to handle hundreds of connected devices. Hundreds, for real. And now through September 21st, you can get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. Make sure your home Wi-Fi can handle everything you throw at it, and then some. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to switch today. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply, requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. So make the call to 1-800-XFINITY.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, we got another code for Madden for someone to win here in just a moment. Remember, Brock is on the call. One of 3 teams calling games for Madden, and so we've got some really cool codes for Xbox users. We'll have some stuff for PlayStation folks at some point.
Oh, yes, we will. We got hard copy. I got hard copy,
right.
Salk.
Right now, we just got the codes for the Xbox. Just want people to know that that's what we're dealing with. Before we dig into this little quiz show game, I did just want to clarify 2 things. One, Lyle was absolutely right. 2 players, I think it's 1 position player, 1 pitcher that you can call up on September 1st. The other is that if you were to sign Jason Hayward, he could be on your postseason roster as long as you do it by August 31st. That's the deadline. As long as you bring someone in by August 31st, then they can be on the postseason roster. If it's after that, they cannot be. You have to be in the organization before August 1st. So that's
31st.
31st,
Saturday.
excuse me.
So Saturday.
Yeah, so if you wanted to do something like that, you'd have to do it fairly soon. Okay. More baseball at 8:30 with Jeff Passan. Right
So
now,
we're going
I've got
east,
2 people.
We're going East versus West.
Yeah.
We're basically going Drago versus
Rocky.
Well, yeah, we are.
Well, let me get our first contestant. This is Douglas in Spokane. Good morning, Douglas.
Good morning. How are you doing today, Salt?
Doing pretty well. Douglas,
Well, I'm here too,
Doug.
Douglas. Douglas, I'm here too.
Yeah, but he knows I'm the one who's hooking him up.
I know, Brock. You're there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We got you, Brock.
Douglas, I need your age. I need your age.
Let my man crush go on Salt first.
Oh, I appreciate that, Douglas.
You have a man crush on Salk?
I mean, he's the only one that keeps this show live.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Douglas, I am rooting for you, buddy. This is phenomenal.
Yeah,
you head
I'm
over
not.
there to Salk Middle School in Spokane, right?
Oh, yeah, Salt Middle School. Yeah, I got a granddaughter that goes there.
See, there you go.
Oh, boy. A granddaughter? You sound like you're 30. How old are you, Douglas?
Probably 49, sir.
49. And what do you do, Douglas?
I'm a delivery driver for Amazon.
Awesome.
I'm actually delivering package right now.
Perfect. Well, take a good picture of it, and we appreciate it. All right, Douglas is on line 1. On line 2. Oh, no, I just hung up on Douglas. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no. Open
You're
up that
such
line.
a punk.
Oh, my God.
You
I
are
hung up
such
on
a
him.
punk.
I hit the wrong button. Open up the lines again,
Are
please.
you serious?
That's my fault. That is 100% my fault.
866-979-3777.
Totally my fault.
Only Douglas call back.
Douglas, if you're not Douglas, please don't call.
Oh, that was Douglas you hung up on?
Yes. Oh, my God. That was totally my fault. I had to hit one other button. I had to hit another button. Maury, you got to turn off your mic there. Oh, my God. That was terrible.
Yeah, he hung up on you. Sorry.
Oh, jeez. All right. We've got Douglas back.
Okay,
Thank
turn
God.
your mic off. All right.
It's a little more complicated than you would think to like lock someone in like this.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Ian as well. Ian, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
And Ian, how old are you and what do you do?
I am 39. I work in sales as an account executive for a distribution company.
All right.
You do. He's up in Bellingham, by the way. He's on the west side.
All right.
He's our west sider.
All right. So I got Douglas. Douglas, you back?
Jeez.
I am bad.
That was my fault.
Hanging up on me.
That's totally my fault. I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
about
the
that.
guy that keeps the show alive. Look what he does. He just dumps you in a heartbeat.
I apologize. That was my
I know,
fault.
God.
Brock is too afraid to use any of these buttons, let me point out, so he can't make any mistakes with them.
That's very true.
All right, so we have a game for you guys today, and we have a whole bunch of clips of guests on this show. They start easy, and they get harder as we go. We're going to play you the clip.
Okay.
As soon as you know who it is, say your name.
Say your name. Say your name.
And whoever says their name first will be able to guess. Whoever gets the most right will win the copy of Madden. Got it?
Got it.
All right.
You guys feel like you're going to be good at this? Like you guys regular listeners? Do you know our guests? Do you feel like,
As long as it's all Jeff Passan.
Jeff will be with us in about an hour. All right, here we go. Guess number one. Say your name when you know who it is.
I love Kenneth Walker. Since I saw him since OTAs, I was like, he is strong, he's fast, he can block.
Douglas.
Oh, did I hear Ian first?
Ian was in there first.
Ian, you were first.
All right,
You got to be
Ian.
louder. Ian, you got to be louder. Ian!
That's
Like,
KJ. That's KJ.
That's
Yeah,
KJ,
it
right?
is.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
is.
Round one for Ian, that, of
West
course.
Side.
I mean, we would have accepted Coach K, obviously, as well, if you had gone with that. But yes, that's KJ, right?
Come on, Douglas, dude. That's KJ, right?
All right. Are you guys ready for the second one? That was KJ. Here is number two.
I love Jed Fish. Like I think highly of him. He's incredibly smart. He's earned this opportunity. This is not something that was given to him.
Oh, it's the guy from Wake Up Football.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
God, I thought this was going to be an easy one. Thought this was going to be easy.
One more
Yeah, I
time.
don't know at all.
Do we have to start giving hints?
Don't short this offense, too.
Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. Here we go.
I love Jed Fish. Like I think highly of him. He's
That's a hard one because generally you wouldn't hear him talking about the Huskies.
I mean, generally he talks about getting the freaking huddle.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Is it
Ian.
Orlovsky?
No, it's not Dan Orlovsky.
no,
Douglas, one last chance.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Oh, that's Matt Hasselbeck. That's Matt
Yeah,
Hasselbeck.
we were looking for Matt Hasselbeck.
Wow. That was surprising. All right. Well, we still got a long way to go. We got a long way to go. Here is another Brock and Salt guess. Try to guess who this is.
Don't short this offense, too.
Oh, no.
A Jalen McMillan, a healthy Jalen McMillan.
Yes.
You're getting behind that secondary. And then obviously Dylan Johnson, that run game, and Penix was beautiful.
Huh?
Wyman?
Oh, my gosh.
Douglas Wyman?
Douglas. No, that's not Wyman.
What was Douglas? What?
Douglas said Wyman.
Wyman?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a tough one. Ian, you got a chance.
Come on, Ian.
Scratchy voice. What's the breakdowns that he does at the...
Ooh.
Nope, I don't know.
God, they're freezing, Brock. That's
Wow, this
Damon
is-
Heward.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
That's Big Brother Damon, as Brock likes to say. That's Big Brother Damon.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, like, if you guys suck, there's going to be no prize.
This is going to get much harder, too.
Yeah,
like,
like-
those ones were easy.
I am about meritocracy.
What does the text say?
Salt may
actually
be the heart and the engine that drives this show, Douglas.
All right.
But I'm going to tell you.
Text message is killing you guys, by the way. Text message is killing you guys.
My heart is killing me right now. I can't believe I'm just like frozen. I listen to the show every morning.
Oh, no.
I'm just frozen.
253 says this is
as soon
so
as I hear
easy.
The voices, it's like a froze.
509 says, man, these guys are rough. 503 says, abort. 360, I would be killing this. 775 says, get rid of these idiots. TJ says, these guys are jokers. All right, you guys are going to have to step your game up because it is getting rough on the text line.
Toy is killing you right now.
All right.
I know. I feel like they want us to kill ourselves.
Well, I don't know if they want that. Let's
I put
say,
some pretty hard ones in here after this, so I'm a little nervous now.
I know. All right, this one should be easy. I think somebody will get this one. Okay. Douglas and Ian, say your name when you know who this is.
I've watched him. I think he's a capable occasional spot starter.
Douglas. Coward.
I heard Douglas first on that one.
What? Jeff Passan.
It is not Jeff Passan.
Coward.
Ian, yes.
Ian!
Is Colin Cowherd. Wow.
Colin Cowherd.
Douglas has been ready to say Jeff Passan from the moment he got on. All right, Ian, you got a 2-0 lead, and I'm going to guess this is insurmountable. We'll see.
I feel like it is.
The 509 says, what are the odds you would get 2 of Larry's brothers on today?
All right, we got a couple more. We've got, 4 more chances. So, Douglas, it's not over for you yet. Oof. Who is this Brock and Salk guest?
Baby girl, Seattle. I miss you, baby, and I'm going to get back to see you as soon as I can.
No idea. Oh. Is it,
Brock, you know how sometimes we really think people are listening and hanging on our every word and know a lot about what's going on in the show? If you were ever wondering how seriously and how intently people are listening, here's a phenomenal example that not very well.
I love Ian's transparency. I got no clue.
Yeah.
This is one we didn't, I guess we haven't had on a lot, but we talked about this comment a lot after he
We did.
I miss a big voice in college sports.
That would be Gus Johnson, legendary play-by-play announcer Gus Johnson. Yeah. Okay. Well,
how many times have you guys had him on there?
I mean, not many, but we, as Morris said, we spent some time on that. Now, these last 3 are really hard. I don't even know why we're going to bother with these. Can't we get just Pete Carroll, Scott Service, Jerry DiPoto? Give us some easy ones, because there's no chance they're going to get this one. No chance.
People on the text line are getting them.
Oh, really? Well, they're not going to get this one.
But of course, when I said that, and they lost the game, now the Chicago fan base in particular was like, this is why you're not a GM. See how they lost to the Bears, man? This is why you can't get a job. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know anything. Man, are we glad we didn't hire you? Woo, woo. And I'm just like, dude, it's a preseason flipping game.
Is that Douglas Jimmy V?
No.
What did he
sound like him?
Oh, no. What did he just say? Did he just say Jimmy V? Douglas, did you just say Jimmy V?
I think Jimmy V passed away before the show started. Jimmy V passed away 20 years ago. This show has only been on the air for 15.
I mean, I get to hear Gus Johnson. What have you had him on there once or
That's
twice?
true.
Right,
no,
but
Douglas,
we've definitely never had Jim Valvano on the show. Ian, we'll give you one chance here for a steal.
I don't think it's Jimmy V.
That's good.
I'm just going to let that one stay there.
Yeah, that's Louis Riddick. That was Louis Riddick from ESPN.
Yeah, we're looking for Louis Riddick.
Yeah. Gets confused with Jimmy V a lot, though. I totally understand. Should we bother with the last 2, Brock? We might as well. Douglas, you got to hit them both.
Douglas, you still got a shot, man.
A miracle.
As rough as this is,
all right.
You're only down 2-0.
Here you go.
As long as I can. I'm not nowhere near done, I can tell you that. Like I said earlier, I feel really great, man, and I love the game so much, and I spend a lot of time working on my body to make sure I'm ready to go, and I got a lot left to give.
All right, what current Seahawk is that?
Who we talked to 2 weeks ago.
I've got a lot left to give.
Man.
You gotta say your name when you know. Douglas.
Canine.
Who?
Is it Kenneth Walker?
Oh, I thought you had it. I thought he had said it. No. Have you seen Kenneth Walker? He doesn't sound like that. No.
So close.
That's not him.
But so far.
Ian,
go ahead.
Is it Laken Tomlinson?
It's not. So it's Jaron Reed. We've not talked to Laken Tomlinson. I don't even know what he sounds like. All right, we'll give you the last one just for kicks, even though Ian's already won this sucker.
Here we go.
Do you know who this is?
Look, it's team building. Honestly, this is gonna make it better. Okay. We're gonna have a great time. Okay, and then we're gonna do a phenomenal game. Okay.
Who is that impersonating Brock?
No idea.
Which partner of Brock Heward's is that impersonating Brock?
Which current play-by-play buddy of mine who I'll be in the booth with in 2 nights?
Which guest whose name rhymes with Schmason Schmashmedi was that? Huh? Yeah, you guys still don't know? You're just giggling like we got Beavis and Butthead on the line here.
No,
ripping,
know
Eddie.
how much I really pay attention.
Jimmy V. All right, guys, I'm putting you both
People
on
are saying
hold.
maybe you said Dick Vitale and not Jimmy V.
No,
but I
he
don't-
said Jimmy V. Maybe he meant Dick Vitale, but that's not what he said. That I'm sure of. All right, make Douglas go away, please. We're done with Douglas. I love you. That was the
had
worst
one-
performance I've ever seen on a game.
You had one fan, Saul. Can you
Well,
just
and
don't
he's
even...
incompetent. my one fan.
What does that say?
Totally incompetent. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, Ian, congratulations. You've won the Madden game. Congratulations to you. How do you feel?
A little confused. I was definitely hoping for like football quizzing, not like guessing phones at 7:30 in the morning. So, yeah.
Well, hey, you never know what this game, what this show may throw at you. So, congratulations, you've won, and I'm just gonna move on from. Oh my God.
Why does this get me sweating? It's the only thing that gets me sweating.
Why are you sweating?
I don't know.
That's kind of weird. All right, I'm
guests.
putting Ian on hold. More, you can take his info and. Ian, congratulations, I guess. You've not embarrassed yourself as much as poor Douglas. Let's see. You guys need some serious screening criteria for this stuff. Fire these clowns. Put these guys out of their misery. Please never play this game again. I haven't laughed this hard in months. This is the best segment you've had in a while. That was rough.
Blue 88.
Not sure what's worse, these two contestants or ranked both worst ever. Hey, that's unnecessary. Let's do some Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Ewart breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Saul.
All right, Brock, question number 1. Yesterday, you were ripping the nerds. Today, who's back in your good graces from the nerd community?
Well, this guy's never been in my bad graces. I found most of the material that Warren Sharp and Warren Sharp Football has put out there is meaningful, is statistically significant. He doesn't take one little slice of something and make it bigger than it is. I think he's pretty well-rounded. In fact, your buddy Lyle loves him. Finds a lot of insight with him. This was Warren Sharp talking about Mike Sando's tiers list and number 20. Geno number 20.
Yeah, he's not
Here's
buying
Warren
that.
taking
The last
that apart.
2 years, Geno Smith is literally the number 2 most accurate quarterback in the league based on CPOE. And he also has the number 1 lowest percentage of incompletions due to inaccurate passes. He is the most accurate quarterback in the league. His EPA per attempt just isn't high because Seattle's not throwing very many touchdowns. I mean, Shane Waldron had this team at a 94% run rate inside the 5-yard line on early downs in the first 3 quarters. That was the number 1 highest run rate in the NFL by far. As a result, they got 6 rushing touchdowns, only 1 passing touchdown. They're 77% run inside the 10-yard line. That's the number 2 highest rate. That's why Geno Smith is just 15th in EPA per play. But look at all these other critical stats for the last 2 years. He's number 10 in yards per attempt. He's number 6 in success rate. He's number 4 in completion rate and number 1 in accuracy. There's absolutely no way this guy should be viewed as below Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield and on the same plane as Derek Carr. No way.
No way. I'm totally with you. Deshaun Watson, are you serious? Both on and off the field. Kyler Murray, are you serious? I mean, And again, this is great news for John Schneider. This is great news for Mike McDonald. This is great news for the Seahawks organization because all it does is, while Geno doesn't write scripts back to people and write them back, he certainly puts a little bigger boulder on his shoulder every single time this stuff comes out. He does see it. He does hear it. He does feel it. And you're not going to have numbers like that. I'm pretty confident with that. Ryan Grubb is not going to be number 1 in this league running the football inside the 5-yard line. That's not going to happen. He's not going to be number 1 in the league on early downs running the football 3 out of 4 times, 9 out of 10 times inside the 10-yard line. That's not going to happen. He's going to have more opportunities to spray the football around. He's going to have more opportunities to be more prolific. The dude already shattered most of the club records 2 seasons ago. You're going to have a great opportunity to do so in 24.
We're going to come back to this in a little more detail at 8
Heck,
o'clock.
yes, we are.
All right.
Heck,
question
yes, we are.
number 2. We have a Manti Te'o question? Somehow this is
Did you read
sneaked
my
in here.
text? I didn't even get a smile.
Of course I did.
No, I didn't. I put all these puns in. I put all these funny little thoughts in.
There were puns?
about being real. I thought I did a decent job. I thought for sure Salk's going to he's going to give me at least a chuckle.
I think I was asleep during all that. In any event, Manti Te'o may have been catfished, but he did play with passion. What is he projecting in the NFC West, Brock? And are you with him? I see. Does it make sense or seem real?
Here was Manti on NFL Good Morning yesterday.
That is just emotionally draining. Then the very next year, we play the Rams in the NFC Championship, and we have the no-call PI. We go through that. I can only imagine for the San Francisco 49ers what that feels like. And then I put on, we just saw the Seattle Seahawks preseason game, and you see that party that's in there. Yeah. The first drive, Geno Smith goes down there, hits Jackson Smith and Jigba, hits DK Metcalf, and that's without Kenneth Walker. That's without Tyler Lockett. Mm-hmm. And they're out there having a blast. Mike Robb's on there, Michael Bennett's on the broadcast. It's just a party. It's not the same, when I watch the San Francisco 49ers. So
yeah, Manti really kind of hammered home the thought, Salk, that the San Francisco team just emotionally, the reason that the losers of the Super Bowl the following year, and you think about what they have been through over the last 3 or 4 years, and holdouts and paying guys and tough losses and the emotional tank that's been emptied. And I don't know, think back to the end of the Seahawks run, right? 13, 14, 15, 16. The roster was still good. It was still absolutely loaded with some of the biggest stars in the game, as this 49ers roster is, but we knew it. You could feel it. The fun, the juice, after the 14 interception, it just never was the same. And I think there's a little something to that. Now, Shanahan's pretty darn good. John Lynch pretty darn good. There's some tough suckers on that team, right? It is a diversified talent set, both offensively and defensively. Tight end, tackle, linebacker, a safety, right? A running back, a slot receiver. You got a bunch of dudes spread out all over the roster. But I think there is something to, as you asked Dan yesterday, is this philosophical or psychological? I think that there is something psychologically to how much energy that team has spent over the years.
All right, question number 3. I've been trying to come up with this answer since you sent it yesterday, Brock, and I'm real curious who you're going to go with. The one Seahawk that has left us with more questions than answers this preseason.
Tyler Lockett. He's not going to get cut today. There's not going to be no restructured contract. The money is there. But where is Tyler Lockett at health-wise? What exactly is going on? Most everybody else, Salk, we know. We know Dre Jones has battled a hamstring, right? We know that Baker, the tackle maker, that'd be Jerome, has battled a hamstring. We know that Abe Lucas is working back from a patella, right? We know most of those guys that have been out. Why? And I think with Tyler, it has just been kind of a real gray area. Is this taking care of a veteran? Is there a nagging thing that he is working through? The dude is like Cal Raleigh. He posts and he posts and he posts and he posts and he plays through so much stuff. But there was very little practice. There was no game time, right? Even when the starters went out for those just 5 snaps, he was not a part of that. So I'm going to be very curious to see, can this dude truly hit the ground running week number 1? Or is this going to have to be something at this stage of Tyler's career that they're just going to have to monitor and baby like they've had to do in the past with some of the vets of his ilk?
Great question. You're right on it. Love it. That is today's Blue 88. Jimmy V, man. Can't get over the Jimmy V comment. Of all the things I've heard.
I think that was one of the greatest segments we've ever heard.
Well, the text line's a little split, I would say.
I would say Larry and Douglas would be a hell of a face-off.
Yeah.
Because they both kind of also share, too. It's just like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, those two guys pretty unique.
Himself a little bit.
All right, Brock, you played that Warren Sharp on Geno Smith, and what's funny to me about what you said and what he said is it is directly contrary to what Mike Sando wrote in a roundabout way. I'll explain next. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710, SeattleSports.com.
It's a new era for the Seahawks.
Oh, my word, what a catch! What a catch by JSN!
I always expect us to go out and play hard and play physical and be clean.
I would think he's going to come in and be pretty disciplined about this is what we're doing, man.
A new season kicks off September 8th when the Hawks host the Broncos at Lumen Field.
Touchdown, Seahawks! The Seahawks defense, they awaken the crowd at Lumen Field.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks.
The Puget Sound Boys and Girls Club means a safe place for our kids to grow, to have fun, to build relationships, and become themselves. Because of partners like Boeing, we're able to do a lot. It's super exciting for our kids to know that Boeing volunteers are here to help them, to have fun with them, to create good experiences. It provides a brighter lens for their future.
Save up to $1,500 with the best synthetic turf company in the Northwest. Synthetic Turf Northwest, the pioneers of premium synthetic grass systems, have called the Northwest home for over 28 years. Act fast and save your kids, pets, and home from the muddy mess that ensues with our fall and winter weather. Act now and save. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com, 425-788-0718. Enhance your backyard with Synthetic Turf Northwest, where expertise meets excellence.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Did you know about the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program? You can get an $80 benefit card to spend at local farmers markets. Use it to buy seasonal fruits, vegetables, and honey. Just bring your new SFMNP card with you when you shop. When you make a purchase, the grower will scan your card. Then you'll confirm the purchase with your PIN.
You're all set. Enjoy those tomatoes.
Thank you. I will.
Find participating markets, local contacts, and more info at seniorfmnp.com. That's seniorfmnp.com.
Bring your whole crew to the game with the Mariners Suite at T-Mobile Park. Whether you're planning a special birthday party for friends and family or a company outing for up to 400 coworkers, there's no better spot for an unforgettable experience. Enjoy the suite life with premium catering, VIP parking, private Skybridge entry, and more. Plus, season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve your suite today at mariners.com/suites.
And the pitch up the middle, JP! Wow! What a play! Game over!
You know, someone asked me the other day, do you know how many devices the average home has connected to their Wi-Fi network? Well, it's way more than I thought. I actually went home and counted how many connected devices I own, and it is more than a dozen, all to keep me connected to the good stuff. My streaming, my gaming, all my interneting, you name it. And Xfinity knows that the number of devices we have connected to our internet is growing by the year. That's why they engineered their gateways to handle hundreds of connected devices. Hundreds, for real. And now through September 21st, you can get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. Make sure your home Wi-Fi can handle everything you throw at it, and then some. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to switch today. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply, requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra after promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. So make the call to 1-800-XFINITY.
Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hey, it's Dave Wyman, and before you make that decision, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Why? Because he gives it to you straight. Dr. Wagner said my right knee needs replacement, and I appreciate his honesty and expertise. My left knee is fine right now, but the minute it isn't, I'm heading to Dr. Wagner for his expert opinion. I want to avoid another surgery, and I've heard so many patients rave about results from their 90-minute outpatient stem cell procedure with Dr. Wagner. He's a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience and has performed more than 20,000 stem cell procedures using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy without pain and without surgery. Whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Presented by Simply Seattle.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Saul.
You just mentioned Warren Sharp and his passionate defense of Geno Smith as being not the number 20 quarterback in the league, but somewhere significantly higher than that. The reason it has come up is because of Mike Sando's annual column, his tiered quarterback column, where he ranks the quarterbacks according to votes by all sorts of executives and folks that are coaches throughout the league.
Head coaches, 7 active GMs, multiple people in personnel departments.
Yeah.
Truly, I think the most trustworthy. Mike's done this a long time. Mike, a disciple of the late, great John Clayton, dear friend of his. And this is truly, I think, one of the most trusted, sourced pieces of information.
Until you disagree with it, and now all of a sudden we're throwing it under the bus. So
No, you can disagree with it, and that's totally fine.
Right. Well,
I just disagree with these coaches and GMs.
I want to know how much you disagree with it, because Geno Smith was there tied for number 20. Tied with Derek Carr for number 20. He's in tier 3, which is quarterbacks number 15 through 22. Russell Wilson is at number 22. So it finishes with Carr and Geno, and then Russell Wilson right after that. The definition of tier 3 is interesting. A tier 3 quarterback is a legitimate starter, but needs a heavier running game and or defensive component to win. A lower volume, drop back passing offense suits him best. So that is the definition of a tier 3 quarterback, and they have him near the back of tier 3. What's the objection? When I hear from Warren
He had
Sharp,
no defense and still got the team to the playoffs. I mean, he's had no defense. He's had arguably the worst defense when it comes to, well, certainly the rush defense, which is a huge. I think if you asked any quarterback, obviously scoring defense is first and foremost, number one. Or you ask any quarterback, hey, what's the number one stat you want in your defense? Be number one in scoring defense, kind of carries an umbrella over all the other ones, right? But take scoring defense off the table and say, what would you love your defense to be better than anybody else? I would put stopping the run. You stop the run, you give yourself a chance. The clock doesn't run. You get more bites at the apple. You get more at-bats. And he's had the last 2 years one of the worst rush defenses in all the NFL.
well, if you stop the run, the clock does run. Stopping the pass would stop the run, would stop the clock.
You stop the run, you're the number one rush defense. You stop possessions. You stop possessions, you stop the clock, you give yourself more possessions. There is going to be a direct corollary, I do believe, between those best rush defenses in the league and the amount of times their offense on the other side gets the ball. So, yeah, and he's had none of that. He's had no help. And, oh, by the way, how about takeaways? Can you just get me the ball back? Can you put me in a favorable position? Can I get the ball in the red zone? Can I get the ball in the plus 50? Can I get the ball somewhere ever? So defensively, he has had no help the last 2 seasons when it comes to some of his peers, certainly in those tiers, and his peers above him in those tiers.
So do you think that he belongs in a different tier?
I believe he belongs at the top. If you're going to put him in this tier 3, I believe he belongs at the top of that.
Okay,
so give me the qualification. Give me the qualification
instead of 20th.
Give me the qualification for a tier 2 quarterback. He's certainly not a tier 1. There are only 3. Tier 2, I know that there's a little bit of a longer list there, and he's probably not there, to carry the team, to offset their warts and everything else. So he probably does fit in this tier, but there's no way he should be behind Deshaun. There's no way he should be behind Kyler Murray.
But at that point, aren't you kind of, splitting hairs? Okay, he should be 15th instead of 20th? 16th instead of 20th? I mean, is that, I'm not saying that.
Top half of the league versus the bottom half of the league? I mean,
kind of they're both to me middle of the league, which is why he says.
And by the way,
tiers. These are tiers, not just looking at exactly where they rank. Sure, he comes in at 20th, but what he's saying is he's a tier 3 guy.
So here's how I would qualify it. Probably my best argument for this, Salk, is he may be a tier 3 guy, and I would have to land on that. But of those tier 3 guys, the Derek Carrs, the Deshaun Watsons, I think Kirk Cousins is on that list. He may be tier 2. The Russell Wilsons, the Kyler, the guys that he's there, those guys are tier 3, and I don't think there's any chance in any ceiling for them to get to a tier 2 level. I think those stats that Warren Sharp rattles off, the accuracy, the anticipation, the playmaking, the efficiency, I think he is a guy that very easily this season in particular with this system is a tier 2 guy.
Well, these are the tier 2. This is the definition of tier 2. A tier 2 quarterback can carry his team sometimes, but not as consistently. He can handle pure passing situations in doses and or possesses other dimensions that are special enough to elevate him above tier 3. He might still have a hole or two in his game.
That sounds a lot like what he's capable of doing.
So the guys in this category are Lamar Jackson, Matthew Stafford, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, C.J. Stroud, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Kirk Cousins, Jordan Love.
Yeah, those last 4, he's right there with all of those guys. Jared Goff, he's right there with Jared Goff. There is no question in my mind. And he's going to have a system this year that Jared Goff has had the last couple of years. He's going to have personnel around him. Now, he won't have his O-line. Jared got the best O-line in the league that really gives him ample opportunity. But Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts.
So you think he's the 10th best quarterback in the league?
I think he's right next to all of those guys.
You think is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
He's the 10th best quarterback in the league? You think they're off by 10 spots?
Yeah, pretty darn. Yes. I think they're more off by 10 than they are by 5. I think he's closer to 10 than he is 15. Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff. Did you say Kirk Cousins as well?
I did.
Yeah. I mean, he's in that class. He's in that group.
The league has totally disagreed. The league has paid Jared Goff. The league has paid Kirk Cousins many, many times.
Yep.
The league, I mean, Jalen Hurts, the league believes he's, a potential MVP candidate.
Brock Purdy's yet to be paid.
Jordan
but
Love just became the highest paid player in the league for a little while.
Yep.
This one's hard for me.
It is hard. And part of this, he turns 34.
Really hard for me to believe that the league is that far off. Not that they're off. Could he be 15th instead of 20th? Sure, of course. Yes, tier 3. He's off by 10 spots when you do the most balanced research, as you just said, sourced list in the game.
These are coaches. These are GMs. These are personnel departments.
That's a little hard for me.
Something is
when I hear the Warren Sharp thing, you can read these things a million different ways, which is why football is so complicated and complex and fun. What did Warren Sharp say? Part of the problem down in the red zone is that they ran the ball too much. Well, what is the definition of a third-tier quarterback? They're going to do especially well if you have a heavier running game. So is some of the success that Geno's having because of their commitment to the run over that time? Maybe. And so you look at him and say, hey, he's doing great. Yes, he is in the role that they've crafted because of some of the limitations. Or maybe it's what's holding him back. I mean, football is weird, just like baseball is.
Certainly,
hard to
Pete's heavy hand in some of that over the years of 14 years of watching it. That this is what he wants to do, and this is the way we're going to play.
But let me ask you this. This is more of a question moving forward, rather than just debating whether or not Geno is the 10th, 15th, or 20th best quarterback in the game. If he is actually a tier 3 guy, somewhere in that tier 3 range, does that affect the way Grubb calls games?
Yeah, I mean, his efficiency, his productivity is going to affect the way he calls games. The trust that he's going to gain with him is going to affect the way he calls games. The equity that he has with him.
A guy that needs a heavier run game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does that affect the way Grubb calls games?
I mean, I don't think it was a surprise. He got one series, and here's 5 passes, and here's 5 shots, and here's 5 opportunities for you to spray the ball all over the field. The way that Grubb's system's done, whether it's Jake Haener at 5'11" with an average arm, or Michael Penix with one of the biggest bazookas in the history of college football.
Mm-hmm.
If you can throw it around the yard with accuracy and you can stretch the field horizontally and vertically, I'm going to give you an opportunity to push the envelope and attack. He's going to get a chance to attack this year in ways he's not gotten the last 2 years. He should have a chance to have a defense that can play some level of complementary football, right? To me, there's something amiss here. There's something from these evaluators that just don't like Geno. That just don't like the personality, that don't like the baggage, that don't like the pass, that don't like the way he carries himself.
So surprising.
Yeah, I mean,
let's see if we get to the bottom of that sometime.
Well, I mean, that is some of that pass that you we talk about this. That narrative's written. You're never ever going to fully flush it. You're never going to fully run away from it. No, sadly, no matter what you do, there are going to be some that still
maybe it's
absolutely
the size of his
hold
ears,
on to that.
The rabbit ears he's got. I don't know. It could be any number of things, but when you hear everything and respond to everything, maybe
I'm excited, man. I honestly, I'm not just. This isn't just Homerville. This isn't just Cliff Averill down there.
A little Homerville.
Nope. I'm excited for the system. I'm like Baldy.
System, yes.
I'm like Baldy and Bucky Brooks, man. I'm excited for how he fits in this attack mode system because he's got the tools still. I don't think he's past his prime age-wise. He's nearing it. He's going to be 34 in October.
I'm very curious because the league really disagrees with you. They've disagreed with you in the top 10 quarterback ranking. They've disagreed with you in Mike Sando's tier ranking. They've disagreed with you in terms of what they were willing to pay Geno Smith, which for the rest of the league was essentially nothing. They've totally disagreed with this take in every way. The good news is none of that matters. Once you take the field in a couple of weeks, Geno can write his own narrative, his own story, and his own success if he's able to get it done.
And them haters, they won't write him back either.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Yeah, there were some good things that happened this weekend, man. Well, however you slice it, it's a brand new day here in Seattle. And so far, these guys have been off to a good start.
Yeah, that's a really good point about, I don't know that we're ever going to see drastic changes in the way that one manager is over the other, most especially since Dan Wilson is just starting out. But you're right. The vibes did feel a bit different. It felt like a little bit of we're not a sinking ship right now. We've kind of been given a second chance.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and listen, I've had my share of sports injuries. I've talked about those through the years, but you don't need to be a former pro athlete to know about pain, right? Many of you right now, as you hear my voice, are walking through, many things in that itis family: tendonitis, arthritis, bursitis, painful joints that can affect anyone and certainly, affect your quality of life. Well, my friend, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine over there in Kirkland sees a lot of patients suffering from chronic joint pain caused by arthritis. So don't let pain stop you from enjoying life. Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy and so much more. That stem cell non-surgical solution to your pain using your own body's healing agents, your stem cells, your platelet-rich plasma to harness your opportunity to get rid of that pain. Consider that and so much more with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000, 425-823-4000, or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Allshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Are you putting off your new kitchen plans? Why wait? Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Call today and ask about our trade-in sale. Years of experience, thousands of happy customers. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600 or heritagehomecraft.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Using the Labor Day weekend to get some work done? We got you. Stop by any store to save on oil, fuel system cleaner, wipers, and more. Looking for an end of summer wash? We've got deals for that too. Don't want to leave the garage? Get same-day delivery on AutoZone.com. Do Labor Day your way by getting something done at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Miss anything from the Brock and Salk Show? Remember, you can always catch the show on demand on SeattleSports.com, the Seattle Sports app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. This message brought to you by Ascend Hospitality Group, Famous Dave's, Ascend Prime, and Stanford's.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 9/22/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Equal bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Breaking ball struck him out. That's a dozen for George Kirby.
A Mariners game is the perfect place to spend a Seattle summer day. You can kick back with some Moto Pizza, take in the views of Elliott Bay, enjoy a local brew, and soak up the sun. It's like going to the beach, only better, because you don't have to pack a big cooler, you can't get stung by a jellyfish, and there's no sand to get in your shoes or anywhere else. Plus, the beach usually doesn't have JP, Cal, or Julio.
Fair ball, base hit. Julio hits third base. He's racing home. He's safe. Cal Raleigh delivers.
Pass me that sunscreen. Let's go. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Bring your whole crew to this week's summer send-off at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners homestand wraps up with 2 more value games against the Rays, which means you can score seats for as little as $10 to tonight's matchup at 6:40 and tomorrow's midweek matinee at 1:10. Go to mariners.com/value games and lock in your tickets now.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Can't believe the lead is down to 3.5 games. The Mariners have battled their way back, and they've won 3 of their last 4, while the Astros have dropped a couple along the way. In fact, they've dropped 3 of 4. So when you get hot and they get not, you find a way back in. Yesterday was dominant pitching once again. Got to give a ton of credit to Bryce Miller. He was ridiculous.
2-pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Strikeout number 10, matching a career best. 10 strikeouts for Bryce Miller. 2 down here in the 7th.
All of his stuff was good, but as Dan Wilson noted, it all plays off the fastball.
It was pretty vintage tonight, I thought, for Bryce. And, just great command. That the fastball still has a lot of life. And he just was in control. And when he gets going, obviously with a lead, you're able to attack the zone so much. And he was able to do that, especially later in the game. And really just, kind of didn't really allow them to get anything going on offense.
He certainly did not. In fact, Tampa never even really mustered much of a threat. I mean, I know they had the 1 run on a solo shot. Other than that, he completely took them out of the game to the point where a 5-1 lead felt insurmountable for Tampa late in that game.
That's what happens when you strike out 10 guys in 7 innings, both career highs, as Dave Sims said, tying the career high in strikeouts, tying a career high in innings pitched. And the big key, too, a big fat 0, as in 0 walks. 0 freebies. So you don't put, some of their pests on the base pass where they can do a little bit of damage, and you just don't give them those opportunities. You suck the life right out of them. And I'll tell you this, too. I've always said that Bryce looks like Alan Jackson, and I'm going to stand by that. He does. You played some sound of him earlier talking about just the depth of just, the tunneling and the verticality and all the stuff. You know what that dude is as well? He's sly like a fox.
He's a smart dude.
He kind of looks like a fox. Right? He kind of bounces around out there like a fox, and he absolutely throws gas and throws it right at you.
Just like a fox. As for walks, the Mariners... What does the fox say? Ring-a-ding-ding. You wondered whether the walks that they took against the Giants were just the Giants or whether it was the Mariners. I still don't know, but I know they only took 1 walk yesterday. They didn't need a lot of them because they had some power. Jorge Polanco with a home run, and then Randy Arozarena with the big one.
Here's Arozarena, drives one. Right field, look it up, that baby's gonna get out of here! A 3-run homer, Randy Arozarena against this former team. And the Mariners have a 4-1 lead
I'm sure that one felt pretty good. Anything against your former team usually does. And it really was the difference yesterday as the Mariners go on to win 5-1. They get back around to Logan Gilbert tonight, game 2 against the Rays.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, they're also going to have some interesting roster decisions ahead of them. It looks like J.P. Crawford is real close to a return. In fact, been playing in these rehab games with the Rainiers. He was at T-Mobile yesterday for a sim game. Could be in the lineup today, more likely tomorrow or maybe the day after. But what do you do then with Leo Rivas, who's been arguably their best hitter here for the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, is there anybody in that bullpen that you would send down?
You can't. You have to keep a certain number of guys in the pen.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not a matter of, you can't just make it a decision that way. It's got to be somebody from the position player
Okay,
side.
so push comes to shove. What are you doing? You sending Leo down?
Probably Canzone. Right? I mean, just given Dylan Moore's ability to play the outfield, or if I needed to, even Rojas.
Yep.
Right now, it would probably be Canzone because
Rivas can play a little.
Run.
Can Rivas play a little second base?
Oh, sure. I mean, he can
Blanco
play
can
second or
DH.
third. Yeah, I mean, so it just probably gives you the most options because of Rayleigh's ability to play infield, outfield, because of Dylan Moore's, because of Rojas, if you need him to play the outfield. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do, assuming that Victor Robles is okay. But I am still a little intrigued by that Jason Hayward thing. I'm just going to kind of keep that in the back of my mind because I think he would be an interesting addition for the last little couple of weeks here. As for the pen, Brock, not pretty. Gregory Santos possibly done for the year. Maybe you'll get to see him in late September. Jimmy Garcia should return in September, but again, that's not going to be for a few weeks. And even then, it may be on the back half of September, not the front.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
And Shannon Nwosu, the one real kind of in-game injury the Seahawks suffered here during the preseason, along with Artie Burns, but he's sort of a big name, and he's one of the more underrated players in the game, as you heard Ian Rappaport say as he was talking about his injury.
Shannon Nwosu, the Seahawks standout edge, really not a household name, but he is a baller and actually been having a great training camp. Sources say he is going to miss multiple weeks with a knee injury that he suffered on Saturday night. Could actually begin the season on IR. That is one of the reasons they traded earlier today for Trevis Gibson from the Jaguars.
Yeah, so 2 to 6 weeks for an MCL strain, Brock. How do you handle it?
Yeah, that's not easy to do. I mean, this is where you really trust your doctors and you really trust him. And he's been through some injuries, before with you, which I think would be a positive. You kind of know how his body reacts and how his body responds.
Didn't Russ play the next week after an MCL?
He did, different position, asked to do different things. You could put a big brace on that and kind of, find your way through that. Setting an edge versus 330-pound dudes and taking on blocks and rushing full speed and doing all the things you got to do. Yeah, he's going to definitely be, I mean, it's all roster construction too. So if you keep him and he can't play and he's inactive for the first couple games, but you want him for the next 2 and not to miss 4, do you have enough other depth, enough other pieces? How does that affect, some of the other decisions you got to make in the running back room, the tight end room, the safety room, special teams rooms? So yeah, a lot of moving pieces over the course of today as cut downs. A rough day, man. Rough day for some 30 guys out there. They're going to get a call that their services are no longer needed. And
you remember this day?
I do. Yeah, I do. I never got cut in my 6 years, but I had friends that did. I was over at my buddy's house, and I thought for sure there's no chance that you were getting cut. But he knew a whole lot more than I did. Had been around the block, and sure enough, that number popped up, and it was, it's a hard day. Hard day.
Just brutal. All right, that is everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Also point out yesterday, congratulations to Sue Bird, as Sue Bird Court is named for her in her honor between Denny Way and Lenny Wilkins Way over on 2nd Ave North. Congratulations to Sue. The team ended up losing to Washington last night. And I guess at that ceremony, the mayor told Chris Daniels we're closer than ever to a Sonics return. Again, we all know this to be the case, but it's fun when we get these little morsels about it, right?
So you don't have Kong, so I'm assuming you don't have the NBA channel as well?
I do, yeah.
You do have the NBA channel?
I get everything but Kong. I get everything but Kong. Yeah, I was watching some of Caitlin.
Oh, gosh. She's on fire.
I don't know that anybody watches her games with more bias and agenda than you do.
Oh, for sure.
Every game broadcast is just like, she's unbelievable, and her teammates are the worst, and they screwed this up for her, they screwed that up for her.
That is not true, and you do the exact same, and your frustration with the coach is well noted.
No.
And Aaliyah Boston is well noted. She should have and could have had 15 assists yesterday if you can make a freaking lay-in. She's setting you up. What more does she have to make the lay-in, too?
We're going to take a quick break. Jeff Passan is next. He joined us on Friday. What has he learned about the Mariners since? We'll ask him that and more next on Brock and Salk.
The pennant race is on Seattle Sports.
Swing and a drive. Deep to right center. That baby's way gone.
Goodbye, baseball. Tune in for exclusive coverage, expert analysis, and every single pitch as the Mariners sail toward the AL West title.
Swinging a fly ball. Blasted deep. This is way back and gone.
And a swing and a miss. Came back with a splitter for strike 3.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Well, guys, this is a time of the year where you may start seeing and hearing some intruders in your home, right? I'm talking about bugs. You might see the ants in and around your house, or you might hear some loud buzzing. Bees, wasps, hornets, ring a bell? Yeah, if they make a hive or nest on your property, that can be a huge nuisance. And don't try to take care of those nests on your own. You don't want to get hurt. Simply call Pest Pros, and they'll get any nest removed and destroyed professionally before the problem gets bigger and before you or a guest or one of your kids gets stung. Pest Pros is the full-service pest control division of Crawl Pros, and they do use eco-friendly treatments to keep ants or stinging insects, all sorts of critters really, from making their way into your home. They've done great work at my house, so if you're worried about rodents, ants, any other bugs, any issue around your home, call Pest Pros or visit gopestpros.com to schedule that free inspection. That's gopestpros.com.
Fall is near and it's time to break the huddle by taking advantage of Toyota of Kirkland's lifetime powertrain warranty. With a roster of over 70 Tundras and Tacomas, come scout the phenomenal team at Toyota of Kirkland. They'll pass you the keys so you can test drive your vehicle and take it to the house that same day. Big-time players make big-time plays at Toyota of Kirkland. Visit them today at their incredible showroom or online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
You gotta love baseball season, but when it comes to your windows, you don't want any curveballs. Rick Riz here, reminding you to trust your clubhouse with locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Experience the difference with high-quality products, expert installation, and top-notch customer service. It's always a home run with Pella. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Just go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Motorcycle riders, Bob Stelton here. I love this time of year. The weather's nice. I'm out on the bike as often as possible. And knock on wood, I've never been in an accident. But maybe you have. And if you have, you need to call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. First of all, your case evaluation is completely free. They don't get paid until you get paid. And they should be the first call you make after a motorcycle accident. And I'll tell you why. Because they fight for you, the motorcycle rider, and your family to get you the compensation you deserve. With over 20 years of experience, they're going to handle your case with the respect and dignity you deserve. The insurance company wants to get away with paying out the lowest settlement they can as quickly as they can. With the Law Tigers, you don't have to handle your motorcycle case alone. So why should you hire Law Tigers after an accident? They can help you get your motorcycle and gear repaired or replaced. Law Tigers knows how important your motorcycle is to you, so after you've been in an accident, give them a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. They will get you the help that you need. Again, that's 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or lawtigers.com. The Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers, Mateer Law Firm, LLC.
Two things you're looking at when you're shopping for a new car or SUV: choice and exceptional deals. Visit our friends at Mazda of Everett and you'll be satisfied with both. Which Mazda moves you? Find out at Mazda of Everett. Choose from over 600 new Mazdas in stock, and right now, they're offering 0% financing on all new Mazda CX-5s, CX-30s, CX-50s, and CX-90s on approved credit. Need more reasons? They also treat you like family and want you to drive away happy. See for yourself at MazdaofEverett.com.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Driving safely is all about the little things, like stopping for folks who are crossing the street, even at unmarked crosswalks, making plenty of space for people on bikes, and choosing to wait for the next green light by slowing down and stopping on yellow. Because when you're driving, you're the biggest and fastest on the road. And that means you gotta be the safest too. Together, we get there. A message from the Washington Traffic Safety Commission.
Roof now, pay later. Hi, I'm Sam Thomason, owner of State Roofing. Take advantage of our 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to a year. We've partnered with leading lenders to make the replacement or repair of your roof affordable. Flexible financing options are available to take the worry out of an unexpected expense. Call us today at 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule a free no-obligation estimate or visit us at stateroofing.com. That's stateroofing.com.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
Don't waste a beautiful summer day stuck inside fighting allergies. I'm Dr. Ryan Stern with the Stern Sinus Center. Sinus pressure, congestion, runny nose, snoring, and facial pain are just a few of the symptoms we can help you out with here at the Stern Sinus Center. From allergy workup and treatment to modern outpatient nasal and sinus procedures, we can help. We'll get you the relief you deserve, easily, quickly, and permanently. Find us in Federal Way and Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
This is Stacey Rost. Is that leaky faucet driving you crazy? Don't wait until it becomes a flood. Call Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air. At Ben's Plumbing, they pride themselves on 5-star service, where your satisfaction is their priority. Whether it's a stubborn clog or a complete plumbing overhaul, their team of dedicated professionals is here to help with no commission sales tactics. Just honest, reliable service you can count on. Call today at 206-789-5353 or visit Ben's.plumbing. That's Ben's.plumbing.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, the Mariners are hot all of a sudden after being decidedly not for quite some time. They played some pretty good baseball here in the last 4 games. They go 3-1, and they cut the lead in the West to just 3.5 games when Jeff Passan joined us Friday. He was pretty adamant that the Mariners weren't out of this thing, and as we sit here today, Jeff was absolutely right. Jeffrey, good morning. How are you?
I'm not going to take a victory lap quite yet.
It's probably smart. Way this game is gone. Yeah.
Can you ever take a victory lap? Maybe at the end of the World Series?
Actually, yeah. I'll definitely. I have this discussion with my older son sometimes, who is wired in the kind of way that when even good things, like very good things, happen, and he has, through his own will, hard work, or otherwise prompted them to happen, will never give himself credit because he thinks that enjoying something leads to complacency. So yeah, it's psycho behavior, and I don't know why he's like that, because if you can't appreciate something that you've done, then what's the point in doing it? But he's 16. He'll learn.
But I would just say in baseball, we've just seemed to have learned so many times. The moment you think you know what's going on or you think you've got it figured out sure seems to be the moment everything changes on you.
You know what, though? That's the function of a 162-game season, right? Like, nothing can ever be as good as it seems, but I think it can be as bad as it seems sometimes.
You call it the 160-game season.
Over the last 6 weeks with the Mariners, it can be pretty bad.
I feel like it's more just the punishment of the baseball gods, that the moment you feel arrogant enough to say anything with conviction is the moment they punish you by making the exact opposite come true.
Yeah, I want to not believe in the baseball gods.
Good luck with that, man. It's the only explanation for Jorge Polanco having an 850 OPS since we all were like, okay, we're done here.
850? Call it 884 for what it
884.
is. Since the All-Star break.
Since the day we were all like, how could Scott even play this guy anymore? And now he's like the best hitter on the team.
Yep, that's pretty much how it works. Just a stupid game that twists us around. It's little grubby, veiny fingers and just toys with us. We're just little puppets to its wills.
But there have been 132 of these that have been largely consistent in one way, Jeffrey, and that is with a starting rotation for these Mariners that is just doing the absurd. And Bryce Miller last night, again, shoving 7 innings, tying a career high 10 Ks, tying a career high, no walks. I mean, he doesn't walk people. He's like George Kirby now. He didn't walk people anymore. What this staff has done. Can you give me any historical context? Is there anything that just jumps out to a Jeffrey Passan who sees the whole picture, both currently and in the past, for what these guys are doing?
Yeah, I think it goes back to those walks, right? They just do not walk anyone. It's the second lowest since the turn of the century, the second lowest walk rate of a starting rotation over the course of a full season. Less than 5% of Mariners' plate appearances when they are playing defensively. Less than 5% of those plate appearances end up in a walk by the starter. And the only team ahead of them was the 2005 Minnesota Twins. If you go back and look at the 2005 Minnesota Twins, they had a bunch of soft-tossing, garbage arms. These are guys who were throwing like 95 to 100. And the fact that they have the control and the command to pull this off and to strike a bunch of guys out, it's truly phenomenal to watch. You guys are really lucky that you get to root for this pitching staff, because we came into the season this year saying this could be really good. And honestly, I think they've exceeded expectations.
I would agree.
And when we go beyond just the walks, I'm just going to look at base runners here. Again, this is since the turn of the century. Only 2 starting rotations have allowed a lower number of base runners, and that's just based on walks and hits per innings pitched, than the current Seattle Mariners, who are 1.05. It's a bananas whip. Like, it's crazy to have that. And the only 2 teams that were better are the 2021 and 2022 Los Angeles Dodgers. And when you look at their rotations, guys, it's not like they have a bunch of dudes going out there and throwing 180 plus innings. I think when it's all said and done, this rotation's going to have 4 starters. Maybe Bryce Miller is going to be on the cusp of it, but Castillo will easily be over 180. Gilbert's almost already there. And Kirby will be over there too.
Yeah, I think their starters have thrown the most innings of any in the league. I had a text here this morning that said Service was, thank God Service is gone because he pitched the bullpen too much. And I'm like, well, you should watch some other teams because he's actually pitched them less than anyone else. And to combine that with the health of this rotation all year, you talk about them, exceeding expectations. I agree, they have. Some of that, though, is just they've been incredibly healthy other than a couple of stints with Brian Wu.
Yeah, and that's honestly just to be expected with Brian Wu. It's how he has always been. The only thing keeping him from being on the level of the other 4 guys is the health. But if you look at total innings this year, a dozen teams, and we're through 131 games, by the way. So a dozen teams have more than 700 innings from their starting pitchers. And if that doesn't seem like a lot, it is not a lot. The Mariners are at the top with 762 and 2/3 innings from their starting pitching. The next best is Kansas City with 744, then Philadelphia with 739, then you go to 722 with Atlanta. So the separation there, even at the top, it's drastic how many more innings the Mariners starters are throwing, and honestly, it's how it should be. Like, you guys are living in terms of just watching your pitching, you guys are living my idealized version of being a baseball fan, which is going out and seeing starting pitching do awesome things.
And they are. And I know you jumped on with Shannon and Mike on Friday, Passan, and talked a whole bunch about Service and Wilson. Let me just ask one thing now. With 4 games in the barn, is Dan Wilson the greatest manager in the history of baseball or not?
Well, I had Mina. I guest hosted Buster Olney's podcast on Monday, and Mina Kimes is a good friend, and I had her on to talk about the Mariners, and she was like, I almost called Dan Wilson the Seattle Mariners Jeff Saturday, but I pulled back on that because at least he was with the organization. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to see this immediate success. And frankly, maybe Dan Wilson is the guy. Maybe this move was not as short-sighted as it seemed. And, maybe in the end, he's precisely what they needed. But if it takes me 100 games to know what a team is, I'm certainly not going to be rendering judgment on an individual in his ability to lead a team after just 4.
Well, it struck, I think, Salk and I yesterday. We had Dan on for the first time, and there was no question, Jeff, that he wanted to be a manager. And, baseball is it's a little different or maybe it's not. Maybe you can tell me. Maybe my question, I should ask the question first. Do you know, does every team have, like they do in football, a little index card of, yep, here's some future managers. Yep, here's 3 or 4 or 5 guys that we're going to keep on a short list around the league that we really do believe can be our next manager? Does it work that way in baseball?
If you don't have that, then you're probably an ineffective GM. If you're not planning for, you never know what's going to happen with your manager. Does he lose the clubhouse because of something he did? Does he get arrested and he needs to be fired? Like, there are 1,000 different outcomes, and if you don't have contingency plans in place, then you're just not doing your job.
And I think it strikes me that he wanted to be, right? And I don't know if people around the league knew that. I don't know if he was on other people's short lists, but I think he was in part of why he was around the Mariners and doing all he did as a roving instructor and all he did in the minor leagues and all he did when we're down there for the entire, time in Peoria. And he's working with the guys is because I think he had a vision for this. I don't think this was not Jeff Saturday. This was not some haphazard throw in. This was somebody that wanted to do this job. And I guess just big picture, Jeffrey, like best traits for Jeff Passan for a manager. The 3 non-negotiables, the best managers bring these 3 things to the table in your estimation.
Number 1, a great ability to listen, and not just to listen to what your fellow coaches have to say, but to listen to what players are saying. And I think the best leaders of men and women are those who don't believe that what they have in their mind is exactly what it should be. And that's where listening comes in. Number 2, I think it is extremely important to have the players on your side and having your back. And that's something that wasn't always there with Scott Service. And I think it hindered the Mariners at times. And when things went sideways the way that they did over the last, few weeks, I think there were some players who, because they had tuned him out for a while, they weren't there responding necessarily the way that they could have or frankly probably needed to. And the third thing is proper communication with the front office. Like the best partnerships, I look at Kevin Cash and Eric Neander in Tampa Bay. I look, locally for me, Matt Quatraro and JJ Piccolo. Like, if you have the right type of communication from the manager seat to the front office and vice versa, then all of these organizational philosophies and principles about which you're so proud, and all of the development ideas that are being taught in the minor leagues, they're going to be known at the big league level, and the big league coaching staff can prepare for it, and that's the manager's job. I mean, he's the CEO of the big league coaching staff, and he's the one whose job it is to get guys ready to go out and win baseball games. And once the player development system delivers them, then it's in your hands, Sam Wilson. Go make something magical out of this. And so I know a lot of these all go back to the same principle, Brock, which is communication. You have to be an A-plus communicator to be a good modern manager.
Jeff, I don't know if I asked you about this last week. I don't think I did, because I don't think I really did the research myself until later. But have you ever looked at again, the most odd basic stat in the world, just swing percentage?
Yes.
We were looking at it the other day, or I was, because I was looking at Julio. So average major league swing percentage is 47%. That's just number of, percentage of times they swing at a pitch.
Yep.
Julio's at 55%. Did you know that that is higher than Javier Baez?
I didn't know that, but I suppose it doesn't surprise me.
It should. It surprised me. I mean, I knew he was swinging a lot, and I knew that, when I looked at Aaron Judge and Juan Soto and other guys and saw their numbers in the 30s, I was like, okay, he's obviously a lot higher, but I still assumed that someone like Javier Baez would be at like 60%. He swings at more pitches than Javier Baez this year. How do you curb that?
I don't know that you do.
Really?
I mean, there are improvements that can be made, Mike, but generally speaking, that's a stripe on a tiger, dude. Like, that is, you go and look year over year, and you don't find a lot of guys who drastically reduce their swing percentage. So do you believe that swinging less would make Julio a better player?
Yes.
Or see that I feel like that's too simple.
I know it's very, very, very simple. I know that. But I just look at his numbers over the last few years. His swing percentage has gone up every year.
Yeah. I think it's not about how many pitches you're swinging at. It's what pitches you're swinging at, right? And to me, swing percentage, it's illustrative, but it's not as illustrative as swing percentage in zone versus out of zone. And those are the ones, when you get a little more granular, I think that will tell the story of Julio Rodriguez more than just like raw percentage. It's, okay, are you swinging at the pitches you should be swinging at, or are you swinging at pitches that you're going to be non-competitive on regardless because of the location of the pitch? And those two have different prescriptions, right? If you're swinging at pitches that are out of the zone, work on it. Spend your entire winter looking at a breaking ball machine and trying to understand spin and standing in on a trajectory and looking at what the elite sliders in the game look like. But if it's in zone swing percentage, then that means there's probably a little too much swing and miss going on right now. And that's something that I think will be remedied over time. So I don't know what the exact breakdown is, to be honest. I don't have that in front of me right now, but I would look at, more than anything, Mike, I would probably look at out of zone swing percentage, and that would tell me where Julio Rodriguez is and how comfortable he is in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, and that is still lower than Javier Baez. He's swinging at about 37.5% of pitches outside the zone. His chase percentage.
Still too many.
Yeah.
Way too many.
And Javier.
Way too many.
Baez, by the way, is at 43%. So that's a whole different conversation. But 37% is still pretty high.
Yeah, it is. And look, when you have a chase, and that's what it's called when you're swinging a pitches out of the zone, when you have a chase rate that's approaching 40%, it scares people. That's why Jack Caglione, who went to Kansas City this year out of the University of Florida, why so many scouts were concerned, even though he has really good bat to ball and did not strike out a lot at the University of Florida this past season. The chase rate was high. And if you're swinging at that many pitches that are out of the zone, and you know that when you make contact with the ball out of the zone, it tends to be weaker, that's just something you got to work on. End of story.
Hey, just to put the greatest tool and skill set a manager has to have today is that communication. You kind of hinted there, one of those things with Scott that may have been a little challenge at the very end. Was that simply because of just time? You think that was more of 8+ years of the same messaging?
Yeah.
Was that the biggest challenge that he faced?
Yeah, I think a lot of it honestly goes back to the years before they were winning, right? I know Jared Kelnick's gone, but some of the things that happened with Kelnick and the coming up and going down and all that it didn't rest well with players in that clubhouse. And I'm not trying to suggest that Scott Service was a bad manager. I do not think that's the case, and I think that there are going to be times where managers and players do not get along. Right? They're your boss. So sometimes your boss is going to say things or do things with you that don't make you happy. But there needs to be a healthy amount of respect, even if there's not like. And I think sometimes the respect just was not there.
Just caused me to look up Kelnick's numbers, which I hadn't looked up in a while. They have deteriorated over the course of this season. I know he started off hot, but wow, I didn't realize how badly they had deteriorated. One of the other,
And that's kind of how it works with him, right?
Same thing we've seen, but it was an interesting story, I guess, at the beginning of the year. Just going big picture, one last thing here on Dan Wilson, and this is kind of my one little fear is that somehow, because they laid down a bunt in one of his first few games, and I don't even think it was called by the dugout, there seems to be a group turning the Dan Wilson era into like a referendum on analytics. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. Are you seeing that elsewhere at all?
No.
Okay.
Can you explain a little further?
Well, they're playing small ball, so they're winning. Oh, they're bunting, so they're
are the
winning.
Kansas City Royals hitting the ball the other way? Are they having a different two-strike approach and choking way up on their bat? Are they
Brock was
playing
excited
small
yesterday
ball?
because Cal Raleigh squared around to bunt. He said, "What does that tell the rest of the team?" I said that he's lost his confidence. I mean, I don't want to see him doing that ever again. I want to see Cal swinging for the fences.
Can I be honest? I'm not fully around on bunts, but I'm coming around on bunts a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
When?
Yeah.
When are you coming around on bunts?
I mean,
man on first, nobody out.
Come on, Passan.
It depends. What's the rest of the game state?
Wow. I can't believe what I am hearing.
You know why? Because he's watching his Royals one game back. He's watching them Royals sweep away the Guardians yesterday in a doubleheader. He's watching his 16-year-old son doing backflips down the hallway.
Is all of that time at the kids' table caught up with you? What's happening to you?
You know what part of it is? I think that they are so infrequent now that defenses don't know how to play them well.
That's a good point.
I think that's most of it. I think if bunts came back more regularly and teams practiced bunt defense a little bit better and knew what they were doing when bunts get laid down, then it would go back in the other direction. But I feel like the pendulum has swung so far. I'm not saying that the bunt has positive value. What I am saying is that strategically at certain times it will make sense. And then when you compound that with the fact that teams don't know what to do when guys lay down good bunts, I think it's the kind of thing that should be in the toolbox for some guys out there. I'm not advocating that someone who is slow bunts. I'm not advocating that somebody who has a ton of power bunts. But I'll tell you what, man. When Luke Raley lays one down, you know I'm marking out like a madman.
Heck yeah.
I am whatever Brock was just doing, I'm doing that.
Yes.
Well, I don't recommend doing that very long.
1 week from today, Jeffrey, 1 week from today, next Tuesday, the Mariners 3.5 games back today. Do they chop away at that when we chat with you 1 week from today? The Astros got a couple more in Philly, and then they got your beloved Royals with 4.
Yeah, I mean,
come on, Jeffrey. Come on, Jeffrey.
The Rays are a good team. The Angels are not, though, and the A's are not. So I think they. Yeah, I actually do think when we talk at this point next week, it's 3.5 now, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the lead will be less than 3.5.
Wow.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And you know
All
what's
right, Jeffrey.
coursing through my body right now, Passan? This is go time. Final 30-game sprint of the best time of baseball. College football kicking off this week. The NFL right around the corner. This is go time.
Hey, what's your game this week, Brock?
I got two. I got Minnesota Thursday night, sold out, hosting North Carolina, and then I get to watch Dylan Raiola, 5-star up there in Nebraska, start the change there for the Cornhuskers Saturday afternoon.
I'm gonna send you a video of Dylan Raiola I think he was a 14 or 15-year-old catcher. Ooh. And just gunning guys out.
Oh, please do. Please do.
Dan Orlovsky sent it to me years ago, saying, "Hey," because he played with Dom Raiola, and he's like, Dylan. He might end up being a football player, but he really likes baseball better.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to clear this with video. I'm gonna have to clear this with our team to get this on the broadcast. I like this.
We all know how this turned out, of course, because
Matthew Stafford, of course, is Clayton Kershaw's catcher.
Careful, Jeff.
There
you're
you go.
helping out a Fox broadcast. They don't like that over at ESPN. So you're gonna have to be careful with what
you know what? Here's the thing. I like helping out friends.
That's nice.
And yeah, and Brock is a friend. If I can make his game better than whatever petty rivalries we may have among our broadcast partners, it's I want to be one to bridge the gap there.
All right, well, good luck with the bunting thing. Thank you, friend. I thought maybe you were going to say like around July 4th, you like the bunting that they put up, around people's fences and homes and all that. But the bunting itself in the game, never thought I'd hear. Jeff, we've got to go. You've already made your point.
A bunt won the Little League World Series.
Yeah, those were Little Leaguers. All right, we got to go. Goodbye, Jeff. There's Jeff Passan. He joins us every Tuesday at 8:30. We'll be right back. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
It's a new era for the Seahawks.
I can't wait to see what this defense looks like.
He is the complete opposite in so many ways of what we've seen.
It's a work in progress since the day you walk in the door of where we're at, where we want to go.
And Seattle Sports will take you behind the scenes as the team gets ready for the 2024 season.
I feel like this game was very explosive.
A defense where everybody knows what they're doing, and so that frees you up to just fly around the field and go make plays.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible, it's happening. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 9/22/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eagle bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
I started Davis Law Group 30 years ago with the goal of bringing the highest quality of legal representation to accident victims. Seattle has changed a lot in that time, and the needs of drivers and accident victims have grown. I'm happy to say that we have too. We've expanded our team to take on the biggest challenges for accident victims across the state. Contact Washington's best personal injury team today at 206-888-8888 or visit us online at davislawgroupseattle.com.
Hey, college students, want to save more on groceries? Every dollar counts, so my friends at Safeway are helping by giving all university, community, and technical college students an extra 5% savings every day. It's called Safeway for You. Sign up is free and easy. Safeway for You members get extra savings with perks, points, and free products. For all the details and terms, visit Safeway.com/FOR and the letter U. That's Safeway.com/for-you.
At State Roofing, you can trust us to get your project done right because we prioritize quality and excellence in everything we do. Take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest today, and don't pay until 2025. Call State Roofing at 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Want to listen to Seattle Sports on your smart speaker?
Hey, smart speaker, play Seattle Sports.
This message is powered by the EQC Sportsbook at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Ends Labor Day. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Using the Labor Day weekend to get some work done? We got you. Stop by any store to save on oil, fuel system cleaner, wipers, and more. Looking for an end of summer wash? We've got deals for that too. Don't want to leave the garage? Get same-day delivery on AutoZone.com. Do Labor Day your way by getting something done at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Did you know that your largest investment asset might not be your retirement account or home? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. Most people don't realize that their life insurance policy is actually an asset they can sell. But for almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. We've even created a free policy value calculator at abacuspays.com so you can find out in seconds what we might pay for your policy. There are no fees and no obligations, just information. Knowing the value of your life insurance policy is as important as knowing the value of your home, your equity portfolio, or your finances in total. Discover the valuable information you need to understand the current market value for your life insurance, and then get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Visit abacuspays.com to learn more and use our free policy value calculator today.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
Styled by Simply Seattle.
And Brooke Ewart. And Brooke Ewart.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
All right, just to clarify on the whole bunt thing, because we kind of went back and forth, and there's a bunch of different types of bunts. I just like to clarify my position here. I don't mind certain guys bunting for a hit. I don't think I need to see Cal do it. But certain guys in the right spots, I got no problems bunting for a hit. Man on second, nobody out, or first and second, nobody out, in a tie game or down a run late. Love the bunt to move a runner to third in the right situation with one out to try to win the game with a sac fly. Tie game, 10th inning, you start with that runner on second. By all means, bunt him to third and try to win the game with the sac fly. What I'm talking about is the sacrifice bunt with a man on first. I'm out 100%, and I don't really want to see it ever again.
Even if hitting gets to the impossibility that hitting seems to be getting to.
Yeah, because you still need a hit. You're giving away an out, and you still need a hit to score the run.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm out on that. That, to me, doesn't make sense, and makes even less sense for the Mariners. They need every out they can get. They need every opportunity to get a hit that they can get, and putting that runner on second base while giving away an out, that's assuming a guy can even get it down, because as much as Jeff says, bunting takes the defense by surprise, well, it seems to take the hitters by surprise. It's amazing how often they can't get it down in a situation they need to. Yeah. I like it in certain scenarios. I'm not 100% against it, but this idea of sacrificing with man on first, nobody out is, to me, nuts.
Yeah, I'm of the belief that why would you ever limit the tool bag, especially when it is so freaking hard to hit in this league? Why would you ever say, I remember
because
talking to
you still need a hit to win.
I understand. No, I understand that, just like that situation. Okay, you're absolutely right. The numbers tell you that. You're absolutely right. That's okay. I'm with you on that one. I'm saying in general and overall. And I remember talking to a high school baseball coach about this. I'm like, why is that program that school over there seems to always, find itself in the state tournament. And this isn't Washington. This isn't Puyallup. And he was like, well, they kind of play little league ball, right? I mean, they suicide squeeze, they bunt, they play small ball. And we just don't do that. We want to get our kids ready for college. And I'm like, it's kind of some hubris. Like, why can't you do both? Why do they got to be mutually exclusive? Why wouldn't you have that in your tool bag to be able to play small ball when you got to play small ball? I mean, that was the whole thing going into the season. That was the whole Brant Brown philosophy.
Kind of.
From what I had thought or what I had heard going in is that every single night you do whatever it takes to win.
Yes, but I think the Brant Brown philosophy was much more about,
what
the
pitches
way
to hit and when to hit. And
digesting information in a different way. Yep. I don't think it was supposed to be about bunting more or playing small ball, so to speak. And that's what, again, I don't think, I'm really hoping this Dan Wilson regime era does not turn into a referendum on analytics, because as we said, going back and listening to Dan's answer and with the text that I got yesterday, he was not happy with Leo Rivas. That was not his call. That was not Dan's call. We asked him, my question
I believe that run ended up scoring, though, correct?
After an error. My question was, did I see a bunt in the 5th inning? And Dan goes, yeah. That was Leo Rivas. And then the follow-up question was...
What an at-bat, though, the night before.
Are we going to see
Friday
more of that?
night?
Well, Leo's a great player, and he had a really good at-bat on Friday. I don't think it was... That's exactly what I want my guy to be doing more of. So I don't think that we should be taking it that way. Just
any difference as you see the communicative styles, and it's maybe a totally unfair question, but just as we have gone from a Pete Carroll to a Mike McDonald and communicative skills, that's funny right there. Communicative skills are very different between those two, and in the way that they talk, the way that they present. Do you feel that this is a difference between Dan and Scott? Do you think that they attack that communication style any differently?
Hard to say because I don't see them with the players, so I don't know how to judge that. With the media, I mean, I think Dan's saying less, but Scott had been doing this for 9 years, and those relationships and the comfort that builds up, et cetera. So I don't really know how to judge that, because his communication with the media, while important, is not as important as the communication with the players. So
correct.
I don't know
and
how
front
we would
office
know that.
And personnel and everybody, to Jeff's point. Like, that is the single number one most important skill of a manager today. It is how you are going to communicate with all that you need to communicate with.
I mean,
with
I know,
the media,
I know that
with
Dan
the
is
players,
well
with the front
respected,
office.
well liked. The people in that organization and the players, they already know him and like him. So, he's starting off in an advantageous position, and he's been around a lot of those guys, the ones who've come up through the system. He's been with them in the minor leagues.
Correct.
So, there are some advantages. This is definitely not Jeff Saturday coming in to take over, and I never would have gone in that direction. Was it surprising that they, didn't put an interim tag on him? Yes. Do I think that might have given them an opportunity to, really make sure they were doing this exactly how they wanted to? Yeah, and I think I'll stick by that. But that's not to say Dan's not a good choice. I mean, he's got really, really strong relationships inside that clubhouse in many ways because of coaching them on the way up and instructing them.
Yeah, there's got to be some comfort for him. He is not starting brand new.
No.
He's got a lot of that good old-fashioned connective tissue with so many people there in every facet of it, in that front office, in that ownership group, in that clubhouse, in the media as he's been around for a while. There's a leg up that he's going to have, I think, on.
Yeah, I think there's a temptation to look at this from the outside and say, oh, my gosh, they just brought a guy in out of the broadcast booth to go do this. Oh, that never works. That's not really what they're doing. Yes, Dan was broadcasting on Tuesdays, but that was not his primary job with the organization. That was something extra that he was doing in addition to being a catching coordinator, in addition to working with guys on the way up and, filling in and manage. I mean, he's done a ton of different
things.
It
doesn't work. John Lynch hasn't been good right out of the booth. Aaron Boone wasn't good out of the booth. What are we talking about?
Well, tell that to the Yankees fans. They are furious at Aaron Boone. So I don't know whether that's like the best example of it.
Still, they're in first place, really?
Well, but they're Yankees fans there. Right. They're not in first place by 50 games. So
they're furious about everything.
They're incredibly bad today. All right, let's see. They go again tonight. Logan Gilbert on the hill. I keep wanting to say Luis. That's not till tomorrow. Logan Gilbert on the hill against the Rays as they got two more against Tampa. We have some football to talk coming up in 20. After everything you need to know, do the Mariners have a difficult decision to make? And is it going to be made sooner rather than later? That's next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
It's a sprained MCL for Uchenna Nwosu, and he's expected to miss anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks.
Just talked about how important he is to particularly the run game and setting the edge, but how important he is to this team. Such a shame, and that's just your worst nightmare, right?
Yeah, for you to get hurt in the final preseason game, you're right. It is every coach's fear if you are playing your starter. Some coaches don't do it, and they'll point to this is why they don't.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hey, Brock Heward here, and yeah, if I was a game of operation, I think I've got an injury on just about every single part of my body over my years of playing professional sports. But you don't have to be a former pro athlete to know what pain is about, and especially pain that is affecting your quality of life, affecting the things that you love to do. And if you find yourself in that position this morning, maybe really painful joints from arthritis, and it's just affecting your mood. It's hard to get around, hard to do pretty much anything. It's time for you to call my buddy, Dr. Daniel Nelson, over there in Kirkland at 425-823-4000. Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. He sees a lot of patients suffering from chronic joint pain caused by arthritis and some of the other itis family. So don't let pain stop you from enjoying life and what you love to do. This has been his business. Over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques. So no matter what walks through his door, well, he's got a tool bag. I was just talking about that with baseball. He's got a tool bag that's able to handle everything. So give him a call this morning at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
If you haven't heard yet, Toyota's Camry called an audible with the brand new hybrid 2025 Camry. And at Toyota of Kirkland, they're excited to put it in play. Backed by the lifetime powertrain warranty, the incredible team at Toyota of Kirkland will set up your test drive so you can take home that 2025 hybrid Camry the same day. Come check it out at the amazing showroom at Toyota of Kirkland or visit online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Elshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
The Mariners are all about giving you more baseball for your buck. Snag seats for as little as $10 on select dates all season long with Mariners Value Games. Plus, be sure to check out the Mariners Value Menu, available at every game and featuring 11 items priced from $2.50 to $4. Enjoy ballpark classics like hot dogs and peanuts, new treats like churros and chocolate chip cookies, and more. To get your Value Game tickets and check out all the value options at T-Mobile Park, go to mariners.com/value.
eBay Motors is here for the ride.
120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Having quality care matters to everybody. So, let's talk about it. Optum Care Washington is healthier primary and specialty care. Your doctor can connect you to the care you need with top clinicians in more than 55 specialties, including podiatry, orthopedics, sports medicine, and spine specialists. And if you ever need ENT, breast, or colorectal surgery, you can count on board-certified surgeons. For top local doctors focused on you, connect with Optum at yourhealthwa.com.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
3.5 games, that's what you're at right now. And according to Jeff Passan, he thinks when we talk to him next week, that number may be even smaller. The Astros lose to Philly last night, and then the Mariners did what they needed to do at home. Fell behind early by a run. That was the only one they would give up. Tied it up on a foul pole home run from Polanco, and then it was Randy Arozarena with the big drive.
Arozarena drives one. Right field. Look it up. That baby's going to get out of here. A 3-run homer, Randy Arozarena against this former team. And the Mariners have a 4-1 lead here in the third.
Yeah, that was a big ball. He destroyed that thing to right center field, and that was it. They took advantage of a little help that the Rays defense gave them, and that's exactly what you need to do in those situations.
We were given an advantage there. We were given an extra out, and oftentimes in this league, when you give a team an extra out, it comes back to haunt you, and it did tonight for Tampa. We got a couple guys on, and then just a great at bat from Randy, and to drive that ball into the seats the other way. Big home run for us. It was just good offense tonight all around.
Randy's going to be like Teo, isn't he? He's just going to have peaks and valleys, and when he is hot, he could put together weeks or an entire month where he can carry a team. And I said the same thing about Julio yesterday with 30 games to go. I don't have a tremendous amount of confidence in Julio being able to do that this season because we've honestly not even seen a week of it, a blip of it, and he's still coming back from a pretty severe ankle injury. But holy smokes, would it be nice? And for a position that has been such one of turmoil and constant change, that left field position for the Mariners for 2 decades, and what you gave up in the draft, with your future capital, it wasn't one of your top 10 guys, but a couple good players. You want and you need Randy to work out, and I would sure love to see some success at home, not on the road. I would love to see that, you can hit here. Oh, that's right, you can. You put the good wood on the ball. It will still carry out in this ballpark. Mm-hmm. I hope for some good vibes.
Some confidence, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a word that I think we've talked about quite a bit is that confidence. And, Randy, when he's playing with it, it's pretty darn fun. The real story of last night, though, of course, is Bryce Miller, who was ridiculous. 7 very clean innings, only allowed that 1 run on a solo shot, struck out 10. He was phenomenal. And for the second straight night, one of these young Mariner pitchers has gone 7 innings. Dan Wilson knows how big that is.
Yeah, both these guys going 7 innings, and the last couple of outings, Brian's done it, pretty consistently now over the last 3-4 starts. Bryce continuing to throw well, and tonight was 7 innings of just in control. So yeah, I mean this is what we were hoping. This is the time when you want to have all that stuff coming together, and to see these guys, the pitching has been so solid, but to see these guys continue to do it here late is big.
So you want to start dreaming, man. You start cutting down that 3.5 games. You start cutting it down. You start thinking about winning the West in a 5-game set and putting one of those dudes in the bullpen, putting Wu or a Miller into that bullpen situation. where you have your 3 horses and all of a sudden that guy can come out and nobody hits him first time through that lineup. Nobody hits Wu first time through that line. Like, you talk about these guys and the way that the 5 of them are humming, as Jeff said, in historic fashion in so many different ways. It's a fun dream that you'd sure love to see come to reality.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, and it's been awfully important seeing them go deep into those games because partly where the bullpen is at, and they're still not healthy, at least not the way they'd like to be. 3 of their 4 best leverage arms remain out. Obviously, we've talked, and Matt Brash has been out all year. The idea of Gregory Santos, maybe he makes it back before the season ends. Slightly better chance that we see Jimmy Garcia, but again, that wouldn't be until late in September. Much more.
Both those guys are in Arizona, right? Both
Yes.
those guys rehabbing down there at the facility in Arizona.
Much more pressing is the potential return here of J.P. Crawford, who may be back as soon as in this series. What do you do? Leo Rivas, we mentioned now a couple of times, has been one of your hottest hitters. He's given this team a little bit of a spark. These things have a tendency to work themselves out, as we all know, but it does create kind of an interesting bind. Are you sending Rivas down, or is it Dominic Canzone who's not around?
Yeah, I think I'm sending Dom Canzone down. I think I'm right there with you. I just, there's really, unfortunately for Dom, it just has not gotten started with any level of consistency. And you have a Luke Raley, you have a Demo, you have personnel that can flip-flop and play different Mitch Haniger, different spots in that outfield. And Victor Robles obviously coming back as well, hopefully maybe even tonight. So, yeah, I think Dom's going to be the odd man out.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Today is cut-down day in the NFL. 1 o'clock p.m. The Seahawks are going to have to get down to 53 guys on that roster, and it's a brutal day for a lot of people. I don't know how many truly difficult decisions the Seahawks have ahead of them, but, these days can be incredibly surprising. And maybe some of the hardest decisions involve who's injured and how healthy they can be and when. Certainly Uchenna Nwosu is going to be on that list, as he is been diagnosed with what appears to be an MCL sprain. 2 to 6 weeks is the estimate.
Yeah, I think the hardest challenge for John Schneider, Mike McDonald, and is the roster declares itself, as Mike said, which I so approved of, co-signed that. It's not necessarily personnel, it's construction. How are we going to do this? Where are we going to put people?
Right.
How are we going to handle special teams? How many guys are we going to carry in this spot? What does Uchenna look like? Does Abe Lucas just start on PUP? And he's the Santos idea 8 weeks from now, right? I think those are much more the more difficult conversations. Kobe Bryant, I think, is a little bit. He really struggled. That last game was really, really brutally rough. And
there are a couple of interesting guys like that. The 2 late round tackles that they drafted, Lomea and Gerald. Are those guys going to be able to make the team? Are they practice squad guys? I think there's some interesting
you have your house in order and you put your house in order, Salk, and then all of a sudden there's a piece of furniture that becomes available and cut elsewhere. And how does that? Ooh, I kind of like that table.
Absolutely. One other
like
note,
that lawnmower. Maybe I'll sell that lawnmower.
I heard who was just talking. Oh, Justin was telling me about how he got a new lawnmower, and he was asking you if he could use it to make a profit. Oh man! Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell announcing in a ceremony yesterday outside Climate Pledge that a little portion of 2nd Ave between Denny and Lenny Wilkins Way will now be permanently renamed Sue Bird Court in recognition of her contributions on and off the court. Pretty cool. That is everything you need to know.
You watch Angel Reese play as much as you watch Caitlin?
No, I have not.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. It's just hilarious. She's getting all these rebounds. People are still doing that conversation. Oh, MVP Rookie of the Year. Like, are you out of your mind? I know she's had all these double doubles. Do you realize 10 of her offensive rebounds are a game because she hits the bottom of the rim on a lay-in, and she gets the rebound and the rebound and the rebound, and she's a hyper aggressive rebounder, and it's awesome. But can we stop with this? And even again, last night, Caitlin. Right, I was looking at Gino Oriama. I had some comments that went kind of viral again. Salk before the season. It wasn't even ripping Caitlin. Well, kind of was, because he's just like, people have no idea. She's good. She's going into this league with grown women. I mean, right now, I think she should be an MVP consideration of what she's doing to elevate that franchise, going to take them to the playoffs in places they've never been, and doing it in all capacities: scoring, passing, rebounding. So. pretty fun to see her keep it going as well.
I've had a chance to watch her last couple of games. Cecily and I have sat down and tried to make sure we watched. We turned on at the end of the game before where they lost, and that was sort of disappointing. But watched a little bit yesterday. Man, she is looking a lot more confident.
Oh, I mean,
no doubt. Like,
legitimately should have had 12. I mean, I'm not even she could have had 15. Legitimately 12 assists, but just 2 turnovers.
We've been talking about sports together for 15 years, right?
Yes.
And there are, I don't know how many debates and words and conversations that we've gone back to hundreds of times, right? I don't know how many hundreds of shows we've done together over the course of 15 years.
Yep.
Recently, I have been thinking that there might be one word in sports that is more important and more and affects more outcomes than any other word we discuss. See if you're thinking the same thing. I'll tell you next. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Yeah, there were some good things that happened this weekend, man. Well, however you slice it, it's a brand new day here in Seattle. And so far, these guys have been off to a good start.
Yeah, that's a really good point about, I don't know that we're ever going to see drastic changes in the way that one manager is over the other, most especially since Dan Wilson is just starting out. But you're right. The vibes did feel a bit different. It felt like a little bit of we're not a sinking ship right now. We've kind of been given a second chance.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
2 things you're looking at when you're shopping for a new car or SUV. Choice and exceptional deals. Visit our friends at Mazda of Everett and you'll be satisfied with both. Which Mazda moves you? Find out at Mazda of Everett. Choose from over 600 new Mazdas in stock, and right now, they're offering 0% financing on all new Mazda CX-5s, CX-30s, CX-50s, and CX-90s on approved credit. Need more reasons? They also treat you like family and want you to drive away happy. See for yourself at MazdaofEverett.com.
Save up to $1,500 with the best synthetic turf company in the Northwest. Synthetic Turf Northwest, the pioneers of premium synthetic grass systems, have called the Northwest home for over 28 years. Act fast and save your kids, pets, and home from the muddy mess that ensues with our fall and winter weather. Act now and save. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com, 425-788-0718. Enhance your backyard with Synthetic Turf Northwest, where expertise meets excellence.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
Did you know about the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program? You can get an $80 benefit card to spend at local farmers markets. Use it to buy seasonal fruits, vegetables, and honey. Just bring your new SFMNP card with you when you shop. When you make a purchase, the grower will scan your card. Then you'll confirm the purchase with your PIN.
You're all set. Enjoy those tomatoes.
Thank you, I will. Find participating markets, local contacts, and more info at seniorfmnp.com. That's seniorfmnp.com.
We are Seattle Sports.
Swing and a miss, struck him out, matching a career best 10 strikeouts for Bryce Miller.
The home of the Mariners.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Don't waste a beautiful summer day stuck inside fighting allergies. I'm Dr. Ryan Stern with the Stern Sinus Center. Sinus pressure, congestion, runny nose, snoring, and facial pain are just a few of the symptoms we can help you out with here at the Stern Sinus Center. From allergy workup and treatment to modern outpatient nasal and sinus procedures, we can help. We'll get you the relief you deserve, easily, quickly, and permanently. Find us in Federal Way and Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 9/22/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eagle bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
This hour is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Is this the word that moves the needle in sports more than any other? Maybe. I don't know whether I'm willing to say it like with my chest. But the word is confidence. And maybe I'm not willing to say it with great confidence. But I've been thinking a lot about the importance of confidence and how it relates to the success of athletes. And it feels to me anyway, Brock, as if it's got to be right up near the top. And we've had some of these conversations before. I mean, again, I didn't play sports at a high level like you did, and I'm excited to kind of hear your take on confidence and what it did for you at various parts of your career, because just knowing you and your story, I think it played a really big role in when you had success versus didn't have success as a quarterback in college and in the pros. But I just think about my own life, just playing basketball. And when you play with people you like, when you feel comfortable and confident, I think there are so many things that I felt capable of doing on a basketball court that if I wasn't around those people, I felt very nervous and shy almost on a basketball court. Not a word that I usually associate with myself, but on a court, yeah. And I was thinking about it this week. Cecily had a basketball tryout, and I was watching her. She didn't really know anybody, and she was a little tentative. She wasn't her, normal super aggressive self that G got an opportunity to see a couple of months ago when she was there on a team with all of her friends, and she knew she belonged and was one of the better players there, and she could truly sprint around and do everything with confidence. And I think about George Kirby talking about his change or his splitter, and how once he has confidence in where he wants to throw it, it opened everything else up for him. And I think about this Seahawks offense and defense and the new infusion of confidence that may come from having a new scheme on both sides of the ball. Whether it's better or not, I don't know. But just having the confidence and belief that there's something new and better and different. Mm-hmm. Heck, I think of the Tom Cruise movie Days of Thunder and the super pair of matched tires that he supposedly put on his car for that last race to help him in turn 4. And there was nothing real. He just gave him the confidence to believe the car would do that. So I don't know whether it's the single most important word in sports. Maybe not. Maybe that's an exaggeration. But I did find myself thinking that, gosh, it is so freaking important. And if that's what Dan Wilson has provided this team here for the last couple of games, that may very well be enough.
Yeah. It is hard to quantify. I think it is one of those terms that's different for everybody in how that kind of manifests itself. But I would say being around enough sport here in enough variety of sports, from golf to basketball to football to baseball to all the different things that were around men's and women's side of it, so much of that, the most confident players that I have been around, the most confident players that I have covered are typically those that, honest to God, in this day and age, do not let the noise in. Just do not let in, and the noise internally, and the noise externally. What are you chuckling at?
Give me a segue to Gino, or was that an accident?
No, 100% not. 100% not.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm thinking about my teammates I play with. Like, do you think Edgerrin James ever cared about what anybody said? Marvin Harrison, do you think he thought for 1 second what anybody on the outside said? And do you think for 1 second in either of those guys' minds, both Hall of Famers, throw Dwight Freeney on there as well? Like, do you think for 1 second they thought, I'm not going to get this done? I'm not going to catch this ball. Oh, I don't know if I can run this route.
So how do you put those guys into context with some other great players you played with who use the noise, like a Lawyer Malloy, who was as confident as anyone I've ever seen and a phenomenal player, but wasn't a tune out the noise guy, was a find a way to use the noise to his own advantage guy?
Yeah, I mean, they would that could be some extra fuel, some extra little chip and little fury. But Lawyer was the same. You think for 1 second when he put on his pads, it was as big as a battleship at Washington, that I think stretched from hash mark to hash mark with a borderline neck roll too. Do you think for 1 second he thought, "Ooh, I don't know if I can cover this.
Right.
I don't know if I can tackle this guy." Like, he had none of those other little voices. Do you think Mitch Garver right now, when he goes up to the batter's box, that his mind is not racing with all the things that he is not doing? Do you think when he looks at his 164 average up there, that's sitting on that big board, and you don't think there's little thoughts of like, how can you possibly be the worst player in the history of the man? Do you not think there's other little voices that are just attacking you?
Well, and I think every golfer knows this too. I mean,
Yes, they do.
you know how you feel when you feel confident at the tee box versus when you don't, and it's a night and day difference.
Yes. Do you know like the difference? And I've shared transparently with all my kids who have been in sports and competitive. I said, man, I wish for like a few games that I could go back to my NFL career in my last year at the University of Washington, and I could go onto that field and I could play with the same mindset I do as a professional in the broadcast booth. I don't for a second think of outside noise. I don't think for a second, I don't know if I can do this. I don't think for a second, there is not one wasted ounce of energy of, I don't know if I can do this. From the minute that light goes on and I'm next to Benetti, I can't wait. I can't wait for Thursday night in Minnesota for all of the storylines to unfold, to share all of my experience, to share what's going through my mind. I can't wait to do that. And so many times late in my career and through my entire professional career, there were so many other just attacks at that confidence. Sure you can do this? You doing it the way Michael Mulner wants you to do it? How do you look doing this? Are you impact? I mean, all these things that should have never, ever, ever been in my mind and were and could not flush those. And, we talked to Pete about this a bunch, the expectations that come on these young players. When Bo Nix comes in here, a week from Sunday, and he takes that first snap, is Bo Nix going to be thinking about, oh gosh, I'm the first, no rookies ever won here week one. Oh gosh, I don't know
for his sake.
I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I've seen. I don't know if I'm prepared for what Mike McDonald's going to do. I know I've done all my work, because when I saw Bo Nix last year at the end of the season, the Civil War Sulk, he was like, man, I know everything that's coming. He's throwing the ball before he's even hitting his fifth. He knew it all. He could see it all. He's felt that way in the preseason in 2 games, and why they've,
So how big of a role in today's modern coach/manager is just finding ways to help kids or eventually, grown players just be confident in what they're doing?
Oh, at the top of the list. Absolutely the top of the list.
It's so funny because we don't talk about that much. We talk about communication. We talk about, the data. We talk about the scheme. We talk about the decision making. I don't know how often
it's what Jeff Fisher told me. It's what Jeff Fisher told me, Salk, about NFL young head coaches. And he's like, Brock, it amazes me that these guys won't ask questions. They won't, to those that have been there and those that have done it. And not that I'm some high and mighty and I have every answer, but just say, what do you think on this? Or what was your experience with this? Or dig in. And they don't do it, not out of just hubris and ego, but out of, ooh, this is going to make me look weak, right? All those other little voices like, ooh, don't do this. It's going to make you look not confident. Ooh, this is going to make you look not competent. Ooh, this is going to make you look like you're not prepared. Ooh, this is going to make you look like this job's too big for you. So coaches can have that same stuff rattling around their head and in their brains as well. It's not just the players, right? It's those coaches that can do the same. I am sure managers, after all of these years of managing all these relationships, I'm sure it gets in their head of like, golly, what can I do? What can I say? What should I not say? How am I affecting this guy, right? I mean, it does. They're human beings with a human nature. And, I think it swings both ways. And I think to spin this to Gino, right? I think at times his own ego, I think at times his own hard-headedness, I think at times his own stubbornness, I think at times of saying, I don't listen to anybody, yet I'll block Mike Salk and I'll block others, right? I think at times those voices and those things have impacted and affected him, and especially with his teammates relationally.
Do you think that's one of the reasons he finds himself at 20 rather than higher on this list? If he is as accurate as Drew Sharp said, or Warren Sharp rather, and if he is, the kind of player that you said he is, maybe better than a lot of the guys ahead of him, why doesn't the league agree with that?
Yeah, because there has been some level of disconnect relationally, right? And with teammates and not in the public eye. I mean, for 2 years here, Salk, he's done unbelievable, right? I'm a thumb guy. All of it, every turn when the mic's in front of him, he's never thrown a teammate under the bus, taking full responsibility for everything. I mean, he's been truly in the public realm amazing, but we don't get the day-to-day. We don't get the week-to-week. We don't get the on the field. We don't get what's in the locker room. And there have been some little, scraps. There have been some little things to the point where he said, I think it was either to Fowler or to Breer or to Rappaport. It was either Fowler or Breer for sure in one of the pieces in training camp. The goal number one for me is to connect better with my teammates. It was a challenge in New York, obviously, been a challenge at times in different spots. And that ability to be just a tremendous, endearing about others' teammates, Salk, that is, I think, a step that he's got to take. And why? Yeah, I think that's why he's 20th and not 15th. Right? Is that narrative written? It's who he is, hadn't elevated people, hard-headed, stubborn, all of these things. And I think that is kept him back from some of his peers.
Yeah, it makes it hard, though, because if the talent doesn't necessarily describe a tier 3 player, right, a guy who needs a great running game or a great defense or something else around him, how do you know what to do with him as a play caller and as a head coach?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Mike McDonald and Ryan Grubb and that –
it's an interesting challenge.
I will say this about Grubb, man. He ain't coming back down. I mean, you want to talk about a confident guy that's in the position he's in, because everywhere he has been, from Sioux Falls to Fresno to some tough spots, Salk, like everywhere, Fresno, everywhere he's been, dude has been very, very confident. He's very assured in his system. He knows. When they went for it, in the play that's the most emblematic of this to me, no question, is the game that I called, and not the one that I went Tony Romo on you, but the fourth down earlier. A fourth down against the Cougs on your own 20-yard line that if you don't get, they're going to kick a field goal and they're going to win, and you're not going to the playoff. Like, it's done. It's over. And as I've chatted with Kalen about it publicly and privately, and I haven't gotten Ryan's end of the story, but I'm sure it matches complete with Kalen. There was no doubt. There was no fear. There was not 1 second of hesitation. Ryan Grubb made the call, said to Kalen, you like it? Let's go. Let's go. And they run the end around to Roma Dunze, and that right there is the kind of call you make, the kind of, you want to talk about confidence, whatever way you want to do it, like that is some
confidence,
stones.
conviction. I mean, we use a lot of these words, and maybe I was exaggerating. I don't know. Maybe this isn't the single biggest sports conversation or the most, the biggest lever changing how people act in various times of their career. But I do think it matters, and it's funny. I remember hearing this actually from Scott Service talking about confidence at the plate, right? What makes guys not feel confident? And he said when he was a player, it was actually hard hit balls that got caught. Like that was the thing that drove him crazy and made him start to doubt himself, which is funny. You would think that would be like, oh, darn, okay, well, I did it right. Like when I'm playing golf and I hit one on the screws and it just doesn't go exactly, it takes a weird
You and
bounce.
Mike Hewitt are the same. I hit it too good.
Like, all right, well, I hit it well. I mean,
That's
like,
right.
next time if I do that, it'll obviously work out better versus if I duff one, I want to, strangle myself. I'm just so mad. But the difference for him was that was what took his confidence away. And it is interesting how that kind of plays a role here at T-Mobile Park, where a lot of those balls that should be hits or home runs or doubles end up being not that.
Yep.
So
fun conversation.
Yeah.
And to spin it back to Caitlin, I think maybe early on.
When did you feel most confident?
When did I feel most confident? Probably my red shirt freshman and sophomore year, both those years, because of people around me. Because of Olin Kreutz and Cam Cleveland's and Sean Sheehy's and Jerome Pathon. Like, let's go. Well, let's go. We'll take on anybody anytime. And, I would say, once expectations maybe came a little bit into that second year of starting, that started to weigh in.
Expectations are different, another sort of factor that changes the equation a little bit. But it is, anyway, a good conversation. Thanks for having it with me. Brock, you're up for rank today.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Got a list?
It's
Time
about
to put it in order.
Fred Dwumfor's house. Top five meals that I have ever had.
This is Ranked.
To be honest, that list was really biased.
Every morning at 9:45 on Brock and Salk.
Top 10 list. I'm not buying it.
Ranked.
What do you got, buddy?
Everybody got their ranking. Everybody got their tiers. Everybody got their power rankings. Everybody got their lists.
Yeah.
Heading into college football week 1, the NFL the following week, and everything else. I'm going to do my 5 QBs I want.
Okay, now did you source this like Sando?
I did not.
Okay, so this is just no work done. This is who I like.
This is 100%. If I am an NFL franchise, this is who I want playing quarterback for me this season.
Okay.
Not the next 5 years, not the
Just
next 10
this year.
years.
Okay.
Yep. When they start in, they start in Brazil a week from Thursday, right?
Sounds
the
right.
NFL season kicks off. When that sucker starts, who do I want leading my NFL team under center? Franchise guy,
All
the
right.
guy.
You got some
honorable mentions? I mean, I can't have ayahuasca or whatever he smoked. I just can't do it. The talent, I think Aaron Rodgers is set for a good year. Is it ayahuasca? Is that what it is? Did I screw that up? It's ayahuasca?
Yeah. Right.
The dude is just he's a little much.
Too much for you, even.
Too much for me, even.
Wow.
Even with an arm and a brain that is just unique and different. And I think he is slowing down a little bit just watching him. I'm not going to say no, totally physically.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Just checking.
But Aaron Rodgers, honorable mention. Dak Prescott, honorable mention. I love Dak.
Me too.
I loved him at Mississippi State. I got a chance to do 3 or 4 of his games, 5. Maybe, I think actually I did like half a dozen of his games.
I think you and I might be the 2 biggest Dak Prescott fans around. We're like the only 2 people I know who like Dak.
Because unfortunately, in the playoffs, it's just not gone great. When it's a little Peyton early in his career, it's a little Lamar right now in his career. It's the stumbling block, it's the hurdle, it's the narrative that you want to spin a yarn. It's this, you can't win in the playoffs, can't get it done, can't get over the top. But he's in a dysfunctional place, man, and he is just a rock of Gibraltar, just steady, great dude, and tough as it gets. Is he the prettiest thrower all the time? No. There's some McNabb in his game as well. But I like that.
He'd be hard for me now, though. Just having lost some of the speed, having lost some of the running ability. Dak 5 years ago, dude, I was all in. I loved what Dak was as a runner. I don't think he can run like that anymore.
I'm not going to put Geno with those 2 guys.
That's good.
I told you, Geno's honestly, he has a ceiling of being 10 in this league. He plays to his capability this year. He has a ceiling of being 10 this year in the league, not 20. Like these guys in Sando's tiers that skyrocketed 8 or 9 spots.
We'll see.
He could do that this year.
You're forgetting, because your list doesn't have any of the guys that are new this year.
That's true. Yep, Caleb and Jaden.
You guys come in, and some of these guys are pretty good.
Yes, they do. Okay, so there's some honorable mentions. Number 5 on my list, I've liked him more than others. Sean McVay really liked him. He's won him a Super Bowl. I chatted with Luke a month ago. Matthew Stafford was in their facility working out, and he's like, "Right, I just never seen anything like it." I mean, just him and Cooper Kupp going at it. the level that they played. It's kind of like when you go and watch a big league, Salk, and every once in a while you watch these infielders and you're like, that's just, I don't know how do you do that? How do you throw it that quick? How do you get the ball out of your glove? How do you have that kind of release? Or these catchers that have, and he was a former catcher, that have this pop time, and you're like, I mean, that's just, it's ridiculous. And even at this age, with all of these injuries and all of that he has been through, Matthew Stafford would be a guy I'd want leading my team. Number 5 on this list, Matthew Stafford.
3rd down and 4. Stafford throws. There he is. Nakua to the end zone. Rams win.
Yeah, he can still absolutely throw it as one of the best in the game. They still did that QB challenge of like distance and power and all of that. He's pushing a few of the guys that I've got up here ahead of him because he's still got that kind of elite arm. Number 4 on my list is Josh Allen. Just a genuine dude. I think he is for a young star and all that he has done and accomplished, and he too hasn't gotten to a Super Bowl, unfortunately. Just a debacle in the final 20 seconds in Arrowhead maybe separated him from a Super Bowl and winning one. I think that guy has a lot of small school, junior college, Wyoming, still in the stories I hear behind the scenes of what he has given and what he's done for Wyoming.
Yeah.
Never forgetting where he is from. Josh Allen, number 4 on my list.
Josh steps up, and he's going to get the first down. Oh, and there he goes. No one's going to get him. Incredible. Breaks it for the touchdown. 52 yards. Unbelievable. Josh Allen.
Totally wrong.
Josh and Lamar are the same. Lamar's number 3 for me in the sense, Salk, that you're not supposed to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to make NFL guys look that bad. You're not supposed to be able to run around them. You're not supposed to be able to run through them. You're not supposed to be able to throw a ball that far, that hard, while running at that velocity. Number 3 on my list, Lamar Jackson. Again, 2 and 4 in the playoffs. There are some accuracy issues at times, still with the delivery and stuff, that I would love to see him just sharpen up and hone in and be absolutely maniacal about, because I think he could take another step. But Lamar Jackson is just a dude that everybody loves around him. Lamar Jackson, number 3 on my list.
First down from the 46. Jackson looks to throw. Given time. Wide open is likely. It's blown coverage. It's the Ravens. Touchdown.
Yeah, that's my buddy Joe Davis right there. So Lamar Jackson, number 3 on my list, down to the final 2.
Yeah.
And I put Burrow ahead of Lamar because he went to a Super Bowl. And I put Burrow there, Salk, because Cincinnati is still a disaster. Cincinnati organizationally is still one of the toughest players to get places to get drafted to, develop
the opposite.
Correct. You got Harbaugh, you got stability, you got the greatest owner in the league, an amazing facility.
But the question is, if you just had one guy for your team this year, you'd rather have Burrow than
I would. That
wouldn't be hard for me.
Yeah, he's done it, man.
I'd rather have Lamar.
He's beaten Patrick Mahomes a couple times. He's slayed him. He has no fear.
I know.
The injury has been.
He's a really good player. I think it's splitting hairs. I'd go the other way, but I'm not like arguing with you.
Okay, obviously Joe Burrow, man, and a little tip of the cap to Justin Barnes as well. Here you go, Justin, a little Joe Burrow highlight.
On first down, Burrow with time, looking deep, looking for Chase. He's got it, and Jamar Chase on the deep ball for the touchdown. 63 yards, Burrow to Chase.
The closest we have in this generation to Joe Montana. Calm, cool, collected, just ice water in his veins. And then obviously, I mean, if there was a tier 0 on Sando's list, as one of the executives said.
Right. He's in his own category.
He's just...
So a couple guys missing from your list. So Mahomes obviously number 1.
Mm-hmm.
No mention of 2 guys that I thought kind of belonged in there, Stroud and Hurts. I mean, Stroud, what he did last year.
Jalen last year lost me a little bit.
I know.
But the fact that he lost the Seahawks on Monday, he was bad in that game.
That whole place was a mess last year.
It was, and he didn't stop it.
No.
He wasn't the stopper for it.
No.
And Dak.
CJ Stroud and what he did last year?
Dak stops the dysfunction in Dallas. Burrow stops the dysfunction in Cincinnati.
I think I love Dak. If I could have Hurts or Stroud over Dak this year, I would take them. I think you would too.
Stroud is absolutely climbing, man.
I think you would. I think you also would take either of those guys this year.
Stroud over who?
Over Dak.
Probably, yes.
Smaller sample sizes for both
No,
those
I know.
guys, right?
I
Like
just,
Jalen
again,
Hurts has really only had like one really good
One
year.
really good year.
Great text
Stroud,
here from
too.
Joe in Spokane who gets it. Brock, surprising that Aaron Rodgers wasn't higher on your list, since really this list was you doing your own research. So nice job. Appreciate you doing what you needed to do. Nice job, Joe in Spokane. And I guess that's going to do it for us today. Bump and Stacy going to be in next. I see Bump. I've seen Stacy. I see Curtis. The whole crew is here. They're ready to go. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Until then, the hay.
Well, we know where it goes, but one last shout out to Douglas and Ian. Just two tremendous guests as well today.
They're in the barn.
Who belong in the barn as well.
See everybody.
Get to the chopper!
Your home for Bump and Stacy.
The Seahawks have made a trade with the Jags for linebacker Trevis Gibson. They'll send Jacksonville a late-round pick in return. What's the real headline?
If you're a linebacker, you might get traded to the Seahawks today, too.
This is football, man. That's why you got to be deep. That's why it's important you watch this preseason and you see what Tyrese Knight is doing. You see what Derek Hall is doing, because eventually they are going to have to play. Hopefully you don't rely on those guys a lot, but this is ball, man. It's a violent game.
Yeah.
And when one guy goes down, other things happen.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
To me, the LJ way is to provide an experience that people really enjoy being a part of. And they enjoy being a part of it because they're getting great service. They're talking with somebody that actually they feel cares about them. They care about what their impression is going to be walking away. It's also understanding you're now part of our family, and thank you for doing the business with us. And this is how we're going to show our appreciation through customer service. We're going to show our appreciation with taking care of you if you ever have an issue. Majority of the people that are coming to see us are within our community. These are people who are providing maybe services that we also use in our community. So the LJ way, to me, somebody can come into a retail setting and not feel like they got to have their guard up. And that's been a long-standing thing in the car business that, we've tried to shake.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Seattle is home to Swedish CyberKnife, a non-invasive and highly precise treatment for prostate cancer. Swedish CyberKnife is the only CyberKnife center in the Pacific Northwest. Compared with other radiation treatments, which can last 6 to 9 weeks, CyberKnife treatment is much shorter, typically 5 days or less. CyberKnife advanced robotic technology can track your slightest body movement, adjusting in real time to deliver radiation with extreme accuracy, sparing healthy tissue. The vast majority of patients experience minimal side effects and can continue normal activities during treatment. CyberKnife offers curative cancer treatment while minimizing side effects and disrupting